But you got to serve yourself, though.
That's right.
All right? Father Lloyd, my brother. Sponsor along.
Just like the Andrew.
All right, we about to get started, y'all. We got up on the board in season. In season. Instant, y'all. Instant in season and out of season. All right? And what we going to do is make today's class about y'all. So if you got questions, the Bible got answers. All right? Y'all quiet down over there. Hold it down. If y'all got questions, the Bible has answers. All right? So we're going to make this class about y'all. Any questions, you know, fire them off. To show y'all this is nothing scripted. You understand? But I know we all got questions. Why y'all reading the Bible? What make the Bible different than any other book? Is your slave master's book? Is Jesus a white boy? Ask your questions. I know you got questions. What is y'all, Muslims? Y'all Jewish? What are y'all and what do y'all stand for? So you got questions, go ahead and ask away. I know sister over there steady hugging. She had the first question.
Right. But see, y'all, why we have to do this is because, y'all, when you understand the scriptures and the priesthood that we are under, we are a body, or a church, what's considered a church body. Like you read Ephesians, Corinthians, those were church bodies. They were groups of Israelite believers, all in the same gospel. Nothing separated, nothing off on the side, way or mixed doctrine. This wasn't no Mars Hills or gumbo type of deal. These were groups set in every part throughout the world of Israelites that believed the same thing. So occasionally, I should say, we have to take questions because Moses did it. The people did it. This ain't nothing new we're doing. Like Moses said, take this to the Lord. The people are asking these questions. And the Lord will say, well, respond to them this way. So occasionally, we're going to try to get it in a little bit more to see what's on your mind because we're moving into signs and wonders now. So you're seeing a lot of things out there in the news and we may be hitting a topic and, you know, but you had this on your mind. So we like to include the class or the body in on what's on your mind so that we be all one accord. So that we all teach the same thing.
That's right.
That is one mindset. Colossians 3, we got to be there, y'all. We got to be of the same mindset. If anything was to happen to any of us sitting up here, God forbid, it's got to be another crew to come right in here and sit down and the machine keep moving with no interruption. We can't have interruptions. So it ain't like it's just us have to be up here. Soon as you feel, man, I done tackled it this way, the Spirit is on me, I need to get that out there. If you have to say, let me run some things by you, you know, and see if I'm on point. Y'all show me where I'm at, and you get up here at the table and you get in a rotation. If that's the Spirit that on you, that may not be the one, but the body has many parts.
That's right.
If you feel you got some healing or you understand tongues of different nations, then we need to know about that. So we know we covered every angle and our body is tight, but we can't have different understanding. So if you don't understand the matter, we have to make sure we explain that matter, north, south, east, and west, that everything is covered. We can't send you out into the streets with a hospital gown doctrine on.
What you mean, Daddy?
I mean, y'all know how a hospital gown is covered up in the front and the back, your rear is shown.
Oh.
You uncovered, so to speak. Y'all know the look if somebody get out the hospital bed, you sitting there and they walk to the bathroom, you like, he ain't got no drawers on. And they ain't put no lotion or nothing on. See, we don't want to be caught with rusty rear end doctrine.
Oh,
and how you get that all front, no back, and how you get that, you'll find them say, well, okay, that part's tampered with. No, all that means is you can't answer the question that's being asked. Down here, we study to answer. So we bestow that upon the church body so that they may be able to do it likewise. Say, so somebody come down here, all of us get sick and gone. It's got to be 4, 5 more get up here like it ain't missed nothing, because that's what the body waiting on. Do we shut the whole body down?
God forbid.
So we don't hold any talents at bay or any gifts at bay. It ain't like, you know, if they don't approve it, it ain't happening. All you got to say, look, the Spirit on me. And we supposed to listen, be it and observe. And we like, hey, it's going that way, man. The Lord has sent this here. This fixing the hole in our arm. But y'all, we have to be of one body. We have to think about everybody. It ain't personal about you. It's about this whole group. So everything we break down is concerning this whole group. Not just us. So y'all, with that, you got anything else, man? You brothers got anything y'all want to put on that?
All good.
So what we do is, yeah, we'll take the top 3 right off. If we get through those, then we'll add some more. But we need to know what's on your heart, mind, or soul, things you've been hearing. If it's a topic that we already have a full class on, we'll touch on it briefly and point you there. Ain't no need in rehashing a full class that's readily available to you online. Just a touch of a button. So go ahead, man. You good?
Nah, I'm good.
Okay,
Sis said she had a question.
What you got, sis?
I was just reading my brother, and he's talking about a lot of what I've learned since I've been going to class. There's a lot of twisted knowledge things in life. And my question was, is this one of the twisted scenarios of the cans of cancer? When the Lord made Adam and Eve, he also, before making Eve, made all the animals, 2 male and female. All the birds, 2 male and female. And all the fish, female. Why was it when it came to Adam, he had to pull a rib? He just couldn't. What was the purpose? Is there a significance in it? Is there a reason for that? That he had to pull a rib instead of just make Eve?
Well, it's called a tree.
Huh?
It's called a tree.
A tree?
Yeah, and then you have the root of the tree. So what we got here is root doctrine. So our doctrine that's been given to us starts at the root. That means at the very beginning of it, which is the Father, is the root. Right? So that root spring forth a tree to represent that root. So at the beginning, you're asking about Adam and Eve and a woman. There ain't no physical mother for the Messiah.
Right.
At the beginning.
Right.
So it ain't different than what he put on Adam. Because Christ came from the Father. He was the first creation of everything on planet Earth that we know, heaven and earth. So there was no woman in between that first creation. So that just mirrored what he said. Let us make a man like us. We're going to pull from him and pull from him till it gets back full circle, or it runs like it was designed to do. But the question you're asking, those questions out there like that, they're asking in the middle. So you have to always remember to take things back to the beginning. There was no woman at the beginning if he's trying to figure out, I made male and female for everybody, but I didn't make a male, or I didn't make a female alongside Adam like that. He had to pull them out of him. Well, that's the process it is. It's at the beginning. All I'm trying to say, the Father was like that, and they pulled the Messiah out of him. So the pull-out process is not nothing new. It's at the beginning. So we don't want to get too far sidetracked. And that what they're trying to do is ask you the mind of the Lord. Why did he make these male and female, and he made this one like this? Well, that's self-explanatory in the scripture itself. It say, but to Adam was not found a helpmeet. So the question would be right there, if we're going to get started, why was there not a helpmeet found for Adam? And what was his purpose at first?
There you go.
If he had been just in the Godhead, there's no helpmeet for the Godhead, so to speak. Like a physical wife, so to speak. So he was part of them. Let us make man in our image. They didn't have nobody there, no other significant other, so to speak. The body, the Godhead. Now many will try to make the Holy Spirit a woman because there's 3 that bear record in heaven. They try to make that a woman, but that don't fly because you got a problem with a bunch of he's in the New Testament.
Right.
He will remind you, the Holy Spirit, he will. But you don't see that anywhere else, the Holy Spirit. Now it speaks of wisdom. But wisdom is just one of the gifts of the Holy Spirit. It's not the embodiment of the Holy Spirit. It's just a cheap gift, excuse me. Right. Like, but guess what trumps it? Charity. Because you can have all the wisdom in the world. If you don't have charity, you're wasting your time. Solomon had wisdom that still ain't been seen on this level. He had wisdom like that, but his charity fell off with that powerful wisdom spirit. It fell off. So it caused a problem with how he started using his wisdom. Shabbat Shalom. He allowed certain things to happen and try to wisdom it out, and it wasn't going to work. Because the Lord told him, no other gods beside me. You're not going to outthink the Lord and say, well, he understands this my woman, but she want to serve Molech, one of my many wives. And he allowed that. So where is his wisdom now on the matter? Even though he was top flight, you have to understand when people are asking questions like that, it could be a legitimate question, or it's just seeing if the Bible is tangled up. See, he called the Bible tangled up. But it's not, there's no twists and turns in here that tangle anyone's mind. It's just putting the precepts where they need to be. You got anything on that, man?
Yeah, Genesis 2, which you speak of, and then the Ephesians 5, Paul dived deeper into it and say that all was the spiritually represent the Messiah and his body, or the Messiah and his group of believers. All right, so Genesis 2, 21 through 25, and then Ephesians 5, back it up, like verse 30.
Yes,
the mystery about Eve being brought up out of Adam's rib and them two becoming one flesh.
That's right.
Mystery of Adam and Eve revealed. I spelled that wrong. Revealed. That's Genesis 2, 21 through 25. That's the scripture she asked me about.
Right.
In Ephesians 5, the brother Paul go into it and say the mystery of Adam and Eve really had to do with the Son of God being the Messiah and his body of believers. So like Adam could be looked at as Messiah in a sense, and Eve will be looked at as the Messiah's church. The mystery revealed. You know
that's right.
So that's Ephesians 5. But let's do Genesis 2 first. Get some scriptural understanding on it. Genesis 2, 21 through 25 is the first spot we're going to.
Y'all ready? We in the book of Genesis chapter 2. I'm gonna start at verse 21. I'll wait till y'all get there.
Let's get her done.
And y'all, this is Bible study now. This ain't church that you come out of. If something go over your head, just do this, stop us. You're like, wait a minute. That one went over my head. Because you can't say amen unless you say, I agree with that understanding. I can teach that to somebody else. I understand the process so I can follow along, and I can teach that if somebody asks me. So don't let it go over your head. Just like if you hear us read a word and you don't understand that word, can you explain that word? Because if that word is looked over, you miss all of the understanding. So y'all, we just want y'all to understand that you have that liberty to do this. This is not a controlled setting. This is Bible study.
That's right.
And any study class you go to, this part is always allowable in any subject being talked about. You can raise your hand. We just have to do everything decently and in order. And you want to, before we get started, explain the rules so we understand too.
About
The two witnesses. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's why we went to Genesis 2 and then Ephesians 5. When you're dealing with the scriptures, rules to study in the Bible, right? So you got plenty of people say, I done read the Bible from cover to cover. But there's rules to it. The rules are found in Isaiah the 28th chapter, 2 Corinthians 13, all over. Any topic you're talking about, you at least have to have 2 witnesses to validate that point. Meaning you can read something in Jeremiah and read something in the Hebrews, you understand? And it says the same exact thing. You can read something in Genesis and then pick back up in Revelations and it say the same exact thing. Feel me? You'd be like, well, why does the Bible repeat itself the way it does? You understand? That's because there's rules to even study in the Bible. It's a spiritual book. You can't just read it like you read one of your little novels. Like that was a soothing read or whatever.
Right.
You'll be lost because it's so much. You're talking about the history of the world and different levels of spirituality all crammed into these books right here, to where you got to play by the rules when you're studying it. So she asked about Adam and Eve and the rib and all that becoming one flesh. That's Genesis 2:21-25.
Yes, sir.
But in Ephesians 5, it go a little deeper and let you know that mystery is a little deeper than what you just reading on paper in Genesis the 2nd chapter. That way we get the understanding. So those are the rules. Like say we talking about the new covenant, we talking about salvation, we talking about who are the Hebrews. Whatever we bring up, we at least have to have 2 scriptures or 2 witnesses to paint the same picture before we can say that's a valid point. So in other words, what we can't do to y'all is what y'all been falling victim to this whole time in church. One line, do a verse, close the book, and collect some money.
Right.
You feel me? And y'all shouldn't let us do that to y'all. You're like, hold on, I need a witness to that. Where the second witness at? You understand? And that means everybody is held accountable. Other than that, somebody can lick their finger, read you one verse, start dancing, close the book. God is good.
Right.
You feel me? And you leave about it like church was good today. What they talk about?
Right.
I don't even know. You see? So it's rules to study in the Bible to at least 2 witnesses. And it's way more than that once you start diving into different subjects. It's way more than that. But you at least got to bring 2 to get on board. To make a valid argument pertaining to anything, you at least got to bring 2 scriptures per topic to back up what you're saying. You understand? Then we can play ball. We can cross swords and see who understands this there and who's ain't. All right? Let's get her done, Hebrew.
In the book of Genesis chapter 2, I'm going to start at verse 21. And the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh instead thereof. And the rib which the Lord God had taken from man made he a one man.
Oh, a woe man, huh?
A woe man. And brought her unto the man.
So this is basically Adam got put under the needle, sleep.
Yeah.
What they call it today, anesthesiology.
Yeah.
The Lord put Adam to sleep and performed surgery on him. He woke up like, oh, who is that?
Right.
The Lord like, look, that's for you. She for you.
Right.
He can go wherever you want to go. Where you want to go. No matter. It's all about y'all today. Verse 20? Not verse 1? No. I just play, bro.
Verse 20. And Adam gave names to all cattle, and to the fowl of the air, and to every beast of the field. But for Adam, there was not found a helpmeet for him.
Well, we know Adam couldn't have been a caveman.
Right.
Huh? On a kindergarten level, with his understanding and intelligence, he's naming everything.
Right.
You feel me? That means the divine spirit and the laws and commandments of the Most High was pouring out his pores.
Right.
Adam was just not some chump sucker that just popped up somewhere, walking naked. You understand? He wasn't like your boy, the latest debacle, Nature Boy. I know y'all heard of this clown y'all, Daniel, that's a whole other story.
You talking about Ric Flair?
He clowned.
Huh?
There's all type of madness. It's all
Ric
type
Flair? The old wrestler?
Huh?
The old wrestler? Ric Flair? The Nature Boy?
No, not Ric Flair. No, bro, you gotta catch it. You gotta get on social media, bro.
All right, bro. Oh, okay.
But look, we see Adam had the spirit of the Most High in him, and the Most High gave him the understanding to name. He brought the animals to him and said, you name them. You feel me? He also told me in Genesis 1, you got dominion over all this.
Right.
You will rule all this. right? You the one that's gonna be naming them. So what is that right there? What is that, right? This don't sound like a caveman who didn't know what fire was.
That's right.
All right? We talking about divine intelligence, made in the image and spirit of the Most High. All right, let's read, Hebrew.
Verse 21 again.
Yeah.
And the Lord God caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh instead thereof. And the rib which the Lord God had taken from man made he a woman, and brought her unto the man.
So you hear the brothers today calling their wives their ribs.
Right.
That's my rib. This is all biblical talk. Go back to Genesis. Right? His rib was his woman or his wife.
Right.
All right? Come on, Hebrew.
And Adam said, This is now bone of my bones, and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman.
And so he named her too. She shall be called woman. Come on.
Because she was taken out of man.
She was who?
Taken out of man.
There's a doctrine today saying the woman was first and not the man. That's what's going around today. You feel me? And in the same doctrine, they call the black woman God. You feel me? Like she's the one, even though we all come out of our mothers, as you know it right now, right? But in the beginning, the woman was taken out of man. That's what woman means.
Yeah.
Taken from man. Right? You ask us, are you a woman? Yes, I'm a woman. What does woman mean? Taken from man. That's exactly what it means.
Womb man. Womb from taken from the womb.
Yeah. Come on, Hebrew.
And look, scientifically though, if you actually look at the DNA structure inside of a man's rib, he had every type of living organisms. It's all his DNA is compact inside of his ribs. Like, look that up, y'all. So what does that even mean? So scientifically, you can actually go and look through the scriptures and see that everything actually came from the man. So even though everything came from Mother Eve, she still came from Adam, which means all things came from who? Adam, man.
Right.
It goes back to God because he was made in God's image.
Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly.
And we all connected to God.
And
Made in the image of the Heavenly Father.
And
That's
these
right.
are facts. You can look this stuff up. Just Google it, y'all. It'll pop up. It's amazing what a man ribs consists of. It's so much DNA database inside of all ribs, totally different from a woman rib. What does that mean? Verse 24. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh.
Beautiful.
And they were both naked. And they were both naked, the man and his wife, and were not ashamed.
All right. Well, let's go to Ephesians 5, brother.
That's right.
Yes, ma'am.
In Genesis 1, verse 26, where it says, Elohim said, let us make man in our image and our likeness, let them have dominion over the fish of the sea. And then it goes to verse 27, where it says, so Elohim created man in his own image.
Yeah.
And Elohim, in the image of Elohim was created him, male and female, he created them.
Yeah.
Were they created at the same time?
Were they created at the same time?
Yeah.
Yeah, when this is what it is. Genesis 1, and then you got Genesis 2. One is a summary of the other. Because if not, when we get into Genesis 2, we see Adam being formed out of the dust of the ground. You see what I'm saying? Now trip off this. What day was Adam created? Like what day was that in Genesis 1 you just read? Day 6, all right? Now, if Adam wasn't created on day 6, right, what day was he created on?
If Adam was not created on the first day, we still let them life.
Yeah, so I'm saying, we got day 1, we only got 6 days of creation.
Right.
7th day is Shabbat, right? Then we get into Genesis 2, and it's going back into creation of this man. You see what I'm saying? Right. It's going back. So if Genesis 2 is a separate account of Genesis 1, then we have to say Adam was made on day 8.
Right.
Adam and Eve was made on day 9. You feel me?
Right.
So Genesis 1 is a summary of what really went down in Genesis 2 in specific detail. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Other than that, like if that's off, all we ask anybody to tell us, well, what day was this man made in chapter 1, verse 26 and 27? They would have to say day 6, right? And when was this account taking place in Genesis 2?
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So by default, it gotta be Adam and Eve. You understand? He just going into more deeper detail in Genesis 2 of how he created.
That's right.
So was they created on the same day? Yes, but was they created at the same time? No.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
that's day 6 though. But remember, one day with the Lord is as what? 1,000 years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We can go to work in the 24-hour aspect in time. We can go to work and get off and go to work and go to the bar. So on the same day we did multiple things. Same thing that the Most High did.
Right.
But these are the two same people.
And what we're talking about here too is an immortal being. When you get into the wisdom of Solomon, say he was created to be immortal.
Yeah.
So able to do supernatural things. So you have to understand that as well. It had to follow a specific pattern, you know, and why. Back to the question she's asking, I'm gonna let bro speed it up again. Why it's just male and female in them, and then he didn't do that for Adam. That's still a question. So we're still on the path to explain that different from male and female of animals, because they have a whole different topic why they were created the way they were, and the sun and the moon. So that's separate from over here. So we're still on the path to explain that difference. So y'all, we don't want y'all to think we ain't answering our question. We just on the path to explaining that. Go ahead.
Chapter 3 work the same way. 2 break down 1, 4 breaks down 2.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right. Excellent question.
Yeah.
Let's go to this Ephesians 5. Ephesians 5, because there's a mystery. Even Paul knew that what we just read in them 4-5 verses is a lot of meat in there. Many levels to the scriptures. All right?
Ephesians 5.
Yeah, start around verse 22.
We're gonna start at verse 22.
Yeah.
Just answer your question to what we're gonna read.
This is backing up Genesis 21 to Genesis 2, 21 through 25.
All right, so Book of Ephesians, chapter 5. I'm gonna start at verse 22.
About the rib being taken up out of Adam, being brought to Adam, then becoming one flesh, cleaving. A man should cleave unto his wife. They should become one flesh. You feel me? Because you asked about the significance. Like, significant, what does this mean? Significantly, spiritually, is it something deeper than that? Is it symbolic? Here it comes. Here it comes right here. Excellent question.
Verse 22.
Yeah.
Wives, submit yourselves unto your own husband, as also as unto the Lord. Verse 23. For the husband is the head of the wife, even as Hamashiach is the head of the church, and he is the savior of the body. Therefore, as the church is subject to Christ, so let the wives be to their own husband in everything. Verse 25. Husbands, love your wives, even as Messiah also loved the church, and gave himself for it, that he might sanctify and cleanse it with the washing of water by the word.
By the who?
By the word.
Wow. Come on.
Verse 27. That he might present it to himself a glorious church, not having spot or wrinkle or any such thing, but that it should be holy and without blemish.
They talking about the union between man and woman. That it should be holy and without blemish. Right? Sanctified by the word. Right? Let's keep reading.
Verse 28.
Yeah.
So ought man to love their wives and their own body. He that loveth his wife loveth himself.
That's right.
For no man ever yet hated his own flesh,
True.
but nourisheth and cherisheth it, even as the Lord the church. For we are members of his body, of his flesh, and of his bones.
Wow.
Read that again. For we are members of his body, of his flesh, of his bones. Verse 31. For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother, and shall be joined unto his wife, and they two shall be one flesh.
We just read that, didn't we? Genesis 2.
Bone of my bone, flesh of my flesh.
We say this is the cause right here, because the rib of the Messiah basically is his church, his body of believers.
Yeah.
So what happened with Adam and Eve in the beginning is symbolic for Christ, Messiah, and his body of believers, his church.
That makes sense too, because the animalistic community is not a church.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's not symbolic. I mean, it's symbolic in its own ways, but In order for that to be symbolic, it had to take some supernatural things to bring forth that mystery.
That's right.
And that's why, sis, that answer your question on why the animals is created like that, male and female. But when he created Adam, he had to pull the church out of his body, because we are the body of believers that make up Messiah. Make sense? I like that. Verse 32. This is a great mystery.
Who?
A great mystery.
Now, mystery is something that need to be searched out.
Straight up.
You feel me? So Shaul, like 2,000 years ago, like, look, this is a great mystery.
Yeah.
Right? If you just looking at it from one aspect, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, Adam and Eve, yeah, we know the story. You know, yeah, the apple. Y'all heard about the apple, right? Who all heard about the apple before? Growing up, yeah, y'all heard about the apple that she ate? But the word A-P-P-L-E ain't in the book of Genesis.
At all.
You see? There's a lot of things that we think is in there, but it ain't even in the script. Nowhere. All right, so he said, look, this is a great mystery, meaning there's more than one level to what you're reading.
That's right.
All right, that was something supernatural that happened, so it has a supernatural meaning. You just look at it like it just happened every day. Like, oh yeah, you know, like who done seen a woman pulled out a man's rib?
Right.
Nobody. It was something supernatural that happened. Right? So it must have a supernatural meaning to it. That's why he say this is a great mystery. Right? Come on, Hebrew.
This is a great mystery.
Yeah.
But I speak concerning Messiah and the church.
All that had to do with Messiah and the church.
Yeah.
It all was symbolic for something greater. Right? So we basically the Eve to the Messiah.
Exactly.
How about we not be or listening to someone else like Eve did? We're supposed to learn from that.
Right.
And be like, you know what? Dang, okay, that's all about the church of the Messiah. How about we being subject unto him and not be entertaining bad doctrine and bad fruit?
That's right.
See what I'm saying? That was the problem out the gate. That was the whole problem. You already got ahead. Right? It ain't just to point the sisters out, because we the bride of the Messiah too, these men down here.
That's right.
We his bride as well. Like all the body of believers make up his rib.
Right.
Make up his body. No homo stuff going on.
Yeah.
No. We're not
Right.
talking. Yeah, we all in the spirit with this. You feel me?
They let the woman know too that y'all ain't the only people that got to answer to somebody of higher authority.
Yeah.
The same way y'all get put in subjection, we constantly putting ourselves in subjection under Messiah. We have a husband too.
Yeah.
Right.
Like he said, no homo, but we have a husband. We have a man, and that masculine energy that shadows and actually be like, hey, this got to get done, this got to get done. Same way. So y'all should never look at it like y'all just got to be submissive, and we have to be submissive too. Just
That's
like
right.
Christ have to be submissive to his Father. Chain of command. Makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, Hebrew. What it say? Read that verse 32 again.
Got you, priest. Verse 32 again. This is a great mystery, but I speak concerning Messiah and the church.
So whenever y'all get a chance, go back to Genesis 2 and read verse 21 through 25. Look at Adam as Messiah. Look at the rib as the church. And see if you get some deeper understandings coming out of it.
Right.
Mama got a question too whenever y'all.
Okay, let me finish that last verse. We're coming right to you, Mom. Finish the last verse. Bro.
Verse 33. Nevertheless, let every one of you in particular.
No, some of you.
Every one of you in particular.
Uh-huh.
So love his wife, even as himself.
Yeah.
And the wife, see that she reverence her husband.
No doubt, no doubt. We're supposed to be subject to Christ and Messiah.
Right.
So it's supposed to be shadowed and mirrored in our union. You feel me? In our marriages, whatever.
And the reason being is because it's your flesh. If you're looking at it like the first man, if you look at it, that came out of you. So you got to always keep remembering in your mind that came out of you. So you can't do violence to yourself.
Yeah.
That's right.
You can't harm yourself, because you basically harming yourself when you do that, because that's you.
Yeah.
You know, that's what you're saying. This is, I'm getting my completing, I'm adding that rib that was taken and I'm putting it back. This puts it back right there where it's supposed to be. So you got to ask yourself, will you just keep hitting yourself like this?
Nah, that's called spiritually being double-minded.
You know,
That's
so-
you. That's your flesh.
That's your flesh. You know, and it said, don't let nobody or nothing cut asunder that flesh. If it has to be cut off, you have to do it. You can't let nobody outside come in and do that. And that's even mental up here, that somebody say, what did your husband teach you? You know, and they said, nah, your husband don't want you to have no fun. and then they cut that
What'd you
flesh
say,
off.
Black?
Yeah. See, it's basically like if you're in the grocery store and guy roll up on you and he say, "Hey, how you doing? You know, you married?" Yes, the conversation should end there. But that don't end there. The next question out of his mouth is, "Are you happy?" What does that got to do with I said yes? That has nothing to do with me saying yes. At that point, it's off limits at this point. But it's just a quick thought. Am I happy? I'm at the grocery store and he watching the game. And then when I get back, I got Epsom salt in here. I got to scrape that husk off his. Hell no, I ain't happy. But he ain't talking about relieving you of none of that, sending you to the spa to get yours. He's just asking, are you happy the same way that Satan asked in the garden? Do you want to know more? And know is to bring into the knowledge of sexual intercourse.
Yeah. I want to get to know you.
I want to get to know you. So that's all he's saying. Are you happy? Is that the only part that's lacking in your relationship? Would this make you completely happy? If something else comes in, no, that ain't going to make you happy. That's going to bring in chaos.
Right.
Because now you got a disorder going on. You got the reproduction cycle ain't going like it's supposed to go. So y'all, we have to be really understanding this matter when you're talking about one flesh and nobody cutting asunder. You know, you can advise through these scriptures, but you can't give the word. No, I'm going to divorce y'all. I'll take care of it. Nobody get to do that.
That's evil.
That would be evil. So that's what happens if you're not careful and you're listening to bad counsel and people is telling you and they do it. You know, they don't even do that out in Clayton. They just ask you, y'all, so y'all just ain't gonna get along, huh? Okay, sign the paperwork. Y'all get 30 days to change your mind. If you don't change it in 30 mind, it's on the books. That's just basically what it is, and that flesh gets separated at that point so that the whole body don't die. That's what the Messiah said. If your eye offends you, pluck it out. It's better to go in there with that patch over your eye, with the A-mate look, than for your whole body to be thrown in the lake of fire with both eyes. Straight up. Go ahead, brother.
Sis has something.
Go ahead.
You said in that it is a great mystery, and we can find out about this mystery. Well, how do we find out about the mystery in the Bible, and where do we go to find out about the mystery?
If you want to get that word mystery, look it up.
What she say?
Yeah, we'll look up mystery. She's saying, like it says, this is a great mystery. Where do we go to understand the mystery? And well, we want to get the word mystery so we get it understood what it is. That is not just some hocus pocus or something that just may fly around and it may show up in a book somewhere. So we want to get you the understanding of mystery first, so that now we know which direction, how we have to move with the scripture once we understand the word. Because mystery to you may mean something totally different than from the Bible. Like, for instance, what is a mistress? Oh no. What's a mistress? Says you. Yeah.
A mystery could be a man's woman or a lady
On the side.
on the side.
Okay. See, the Bible says just the opposite.
That ain't what the Bible says.
No, I want you to understand what I'm saying.
That's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right, but I'm saying your answer is the common answer
In
that the
society.
world, that society believes what a mistress is.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
they say this is his
Side
mistress.
piece.
That's his side piece. But the Bible says the mistress is the wife. Like he's the mister, she's the mistress. But society now makes the mistress or this woman over here on the side the mistress. So everybody looks at this over here as who should be in the wife's position. But Sarah was called the mistress, and Hagar was called the concubine or the secondary wife. So you have to be, when you hear things out like that and say, oh, you have to understand that's not coming from the Bible. It's been turned around. And the reason being is so that your understanding of marriage looks to this out here, because this is what we're going to be doing the most of. Because we're in a sinful and adulterous generation. We like Sodom and Gomorrah, where everything is turned around. Where the rulership is different. There's a different head ruling. The man is not ruling like he should anymore. It's been turned completely around. So that's why we were saying the Bible has its own language. And you must play by its rules. And its rules say 2 witnesses that paint the same exact picture. Because when it says thou shalt not kill, there's 1,500 different ways to kill. One way that we cannot kill is called murder. That's the shedding of innocent blood of killing. Then you have self-defense. If somebody try to take your life, you have to kill them, but it's not murder. It was wounding, the Bible called it wounding a man to my own hurt. I had to put him down before he put me down. Still, it's not something that you glorify in. And you think that, oh, okay, well, I'm going to be known in the streets for defending myself. Well, that may get the best of you, and you may just start trying to hang around where rough action at. Think you're going to win all the time. Just set up a fight, and then you throw the second blow. No, it ain't designed for that. So you never get it understood that nobody should be killing a creation of the Most High. It grieved him in Genesis 6 that he had to put everybody down in the flood. So he ain't giving us that liberty to just feel like we can be a killer. And I'm just explaining killer. Then if you own a beast and it kills somebody, that's on you. So there's a process you have to follow after that form of killing. And then it's called put that beast down because it's tasted human blood. It cannot live anymore. You have to put it down. And that will be the rule around here. Any pit bull bite a child, it's supposed to die immediately. It ain't supposed to go to the Humane Society and sit and wait. You're supposed to kill that dog that day, that minute, that hour. Because that's on you. And then you have war. David was a man of war. But Exodus say the Messiah was a man of war before it talked about David. So in war, what you got? Are those unrighteous killings? No, because it's war. But the Most High don't want war building his kingdom. Like he told David, you can't build the temple. You got too much blood on your hand. Most of it, the majority of it righteous, except for Uriah the Hittite, which he committed murder. David killed Goliath, and it was, we still talking about it, ain't we? David and Goliath, you compare it to everything, right? They still do it today, sporting event. The underdog versus here is David and Goliath. But that illegal killing, it's both killings, but that killing of Uriah the Hittite moved that killing to a different level. So you can't build a temple not with that blood on your elbow. Goliath's blood is righteous, but that dripping of Uriah's blood, even though he didn't physically do it himself, he sent the order. Go kill him. Put him out in the front line. Put him at point. If any of y'all ever been to Vietnam for the older, they sent all the black people to the point. You go right where the battle is hottest at. So y'all, that's why we want you to understand the Bible and its language. It explains itself. If you follow the rules, it will explain itself. If anybody say just go to chapter such and such, and you sit there, okay, where's the second witness? If you let them get on board without that, you're going to end up in a debate contest and agreeing to disagree, because none of you are playing by the rules. And I'm going to say this and move on. We get a perfect example of you domino experts out here.
Yeah, what's good?
If I pop a 5 down, the game done started. You like, what you doing? Nick? No, you know it's 15 to get on board, 10 thereafter. If those are the rules, those are supposed to be explained before the contest, right? So in like ways with the Bible, the rules have to be explained so we get reproof and correction. So now I'm reproved. Oh, that's how the rules go. I have to have 15 before I can start building a house. Okay, but if you don't tell me that at first, guess what stands? That nick. If you get in a contest with somebody and you don't start off with the rules of the Bible, it stands like that until you go back and get your mind right, and then you have to go back to the individual and introduce them. Both of us was off. I let you into the game like that, and I have to take the blame for that because I introduced the Bible to you. So let me reintroduce it to you to the correct way. This is how we have to get down. Because if you don't, that's all it's going to be. Egyptians going to say, don't your Bible say? One witness. And then you'll be to the understanding, anybody saying any question, you have to ask them, where's its mate? See, that's probably going to throw them for a loop anyway, but they're used to dealing with the unlearned of the Bible. So the questions they bring about, the Bible seemed twisted. He made Adam, but then he made male and female, everything. That seemed twisted. Okay, so you said Adam. The Bible is set up by two witnesses. There should be another process in here where you can say it's twisted at. Huh? What? That's what he's going to do because he's never heard the response back to him of how you deal with somebody that's trying to point fault at the Bible. The key word in that, it sounds twisted. Now, if somebody said that to you, what first thing you say? You got me? And what does that mean? You got me messed up, right? So when he said the Bible is twisted, it's messed up. You're a defender of this covenant. It ain't messed up. You can't have the thought in your mind that it's messed up. That's the devil is trying to do to make you think that I'm walking around with messed up covenant. So that's why, y'all, we have to have these classes and make sure you're able to do this so you don't get twisted out there. Messiah had to do it for the disciples all the time. Or you too without understanding. Then he have to break off a pearl. When David did this, when he ate the showbread, what did that mean? When they talk about honoring the Sabbath. And when the priest profaned the Sabbath, how is it still holy? He went back to two witnesses to get his answer. And then when they like, oh, okay, then he break it off to them. This is what my father is teaching about this particular topic. So y'all, we have to stay on point like that, and you can't get off schedule or get off the road. You have to get back on the path of understanding, and that's knowing the rules and the regulations. You can't have rules and regulations in your life and then say the Bible don't have none, and it's the chief of all everything. You can't say it's the chief and it has no rules. Oh, I don't want to belabor that, but go ahead, bro. He had finished. Go ahead,
So
sis.
he got the definition he was gonna pull.
Okay.
Mr.
When she asked about the witness, when they gave you witness, you said, okay, so the book of Joshua is written as a witness or referenced in Samuel twice. That's another excerpt where there's more that feels the things that happen in the scripture. So the book of Joshua is actually witnessing it. But my question was, is the pseudepigrapher, is that a part of the mysteries? Like, was it taken out? Is there anything that we can kind of like, if we're starting with just the scriptures, just the Bible, and saying, like, okay, well, maybe we can make more here. Is that a one that you would reference? Or you would?
Yeah, well, the pseudepigraphers are a collection of books. The pseudepigrapher is not just one book.
Right.
All right. So with each book in there, you have to make sure if you teaching out of it, like with us, like if we teach out a certain book out the pseudepigrapher, we got to make sure it line up with the scripts. We have read some stuff in there. You be like, well, look, we got to hold on that. Like we couldn't bring that out because that clearly goes against what this is right there. You feel me? So the whole thing is that's not like if you can hold the pseudepigrapher up, Ariel or Isaiah, one of y'all.
Yeah.
This is a collection of a whole bunch of books. It's just up under one cover. You know what I'm saying? So whatever you studying in there would have to line up with the script.
Yeah.
That's our measuring stick. Right. Like look, you got some in there that say Abraham died at 995 years old. You see what I'm saying? What the scripture, the apocrypha, everywhere else say he died at 175. There's something called the Apocalypse of Abraham or the Testament of Abraham or something. You feel me? And said he pumped the death angel when he came hollering.
Yeah.
But the script say it ain't no discharge in that war. When the death angel come knocking, it's time to go.
Right.
You feel me? So what you do is whatever book that you read in there, take it with a grain of salt. You dig? And make sure it can line up before you actually, because you can bring something out and somebody be like, oh yeah, I'm glad you said that. And you be your flank hospital gown doctrine,
Yeah.
wide open.
Wide open in the
And
back.
you be having to explain yourself, you understand? So it's best off just letting it be known. Like if you decide to read out some of those extracurricular books or whatever, make sure that you dot your I's and cross your T's. You understand? Because you won't read the 66 books. Oh yeah, and then the suit of Picklefoot.
Yeah.
That's not in there, but you read about Jasher. You feel me? Even when you're dealing with the Apocrypha, you read about in Daniel the 8th chapter about the first king over Greece. Which when we get into Maccabees, that's Alexander the Great. You see what I'm saying? Or Messiah kept the Feast of Dedication.
Right.
Well, we read about the Feast of Dedication in the Book of Maccabees. You see what I'm saying? So again, like those books we can roll with. But anything else, because there's a whole bunch of books out there. Anything else you bringing forward, you got to make sure it line up. Or somebody can be like, gotcha.
Right. And they out there to get you because they want you off of that path. You know, like you mentioned Jasher. This is the book of Jasher, y'all. It's mentioned from the Bible in 2 Samuel 1:18, 2 Timothy 3:8, and Joshua 10:13 says to study out of this book. That's in the Bible. But the book of Jasher ain't in here. That don't mean we can't, that don't mean that it was took out because it ain't no good. And here it says, if the Messiah said the world couldn't contain all the books if they were put in here. A library couldn't hold. You got the Library of Alexandria in Egypt. It's not large enough to hold all the writings about the Messiah. So when he says this, you got to make sure, like bro say, it's lining up and it does not break law.
That's right.
It cannot break law. You can't have this over here. You're reading this and it violates just like we read. Like if you read in here, and thou shalt murder as sport. Thou shalt love the taste of innocent blood between thy bicuspid and molars. If you see that in somewhere, you need to put that down immediately because it's saying murder is righteous. It's why we talk about those camps that let that slip out of their mouth and they zealous. I can't wait to murder you. If you hear that on the street corner, that says, I can't wait to slay your innocent blood. But they're not taught from the perspective of killing, what killing is involved with, and the many angles of it. They look at murder as general as everything else, and I can do it when it comes my turn. So now you're rendering evil for evil. And you're saying the law allows me to do that. The Bible allows me to say that. No, it don't. There's nowhere in here murder is ever considered a good thing or no one has ever been punished for it. Now, David didn't get put to death for it, but he paid a heavy fine and price for it. But it was about what was in his soul. You will never find David doing this twice. Ever. Not even committing adultery twice.
That's right.
Nothing surrounding that event. So we got true repentance, meaning to turn away from that activity and never go back to it again. David never went back that route again. That's called repenting. That's true repentance. One and done. But we on our 6th, 7th, and I swear come January the 15th, that's when I'm going to quit it for good. Well, it's January the 20th right now. So you're saying I'm going to need that whole year circling back around 5 days ago, then I'm going to quit. From then, I done put a date when I'm going to stop sinning. No, you got to quit then because tomorrow ain't promised to you.
That's right.
How you going to give me 10 more months I'm going to stop and you may be dead in 10 minutes? So that means you die with sin on you because you got a date in my mind when I'm going to stop sinning. We have to stop sinning today, y'all. We have to stop sinning this minute. What's plaguing you? The one you keep saying, I'm sorry, and there I go back to it again. That's the one, y'all. But like this is the book she was speaking of, and here it says the book of Gad, the book of Edo, the book of Nathan. We ain't got those yet, but they out there. Because if we did, we'd be walking around with a Bible this thick. But the Bible, to your back. The Bible is a summary. And what I mean by that, the book of Enoch is in here. The Apocrypha is in here. This book is in here. All of the other books that mentioned, the book of Nathan, the book of Gad, is compiled in here in 66 books. So this is more of a summary of all these other books. These other books go into day-to-day detail. The Bible goes into hundreds of years, just like he was explaining the 6 day versus 7 day. We done jumped 1,000 years in Genesis 2.
Yeah.
1,000 years has passed by. But this book, it'll get into the years, the 50 years, the 100 years, and it'll count you all the way up and catch you right back up here to the point, and you'll be like, there it is.
Yeah.
There it is. Where we at on that? Because I just want them just to read.
Mystery, and then we got to go.
Okay.
Sister want to dive deeper into the mystery about Adam and Eve and the rib and all that.
And when she do, just read just a few chapters out of chapter 1 of Jasher, and you'll see that Genesis 2 lines up perfectly with that. And then you can say, that's why I can use that, because it's not contradicting the Bible. It cannot contradict the Bible. Everybody got the Bible. So your outside books can't contradict the Bible. And if we never use these, we still can prove this, because this has this included already. What the Messiah did in John 10 is in here already. So this book is in here already. This right here is just the finer details of it. Go ahead, bro. Well, yeah,
you got mystery,
yeah,
and then we gonna jump over to like Corinthians, 12, and different spots to show a mystery of his body, and then the marriage supper of the Lamb and his bride. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Dive a little deeper into it. So sister can see she was saying more mysteries concerning what that's about.
Yeah.
In that Ephesians 5. And at verse 30 of Ephesians 5 says, we are members of his body.
That's right.
Just keep that in mind. We are members of his body. So when we get to Corinthians and then go back to Ephesians, the first chapter, gonna tell you what his body represents.
That's right.
All right. So you got that, Hebrew?
Yeah. Mystery is G3466, Musterion.
Miss who?
Musterion.
Sound like mystery kind of, don't it?
Yeah.
Come on.
Hidden thing.
What?
Hidden thing. Secret mysteries. General mysteries. Religious secrets. Confided only to the initiated and not the ordinary mortal.
So it's something that everybody didn't know about. Remember, Messiah told his disciples, unto you is given the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven. But to them that are without is not given, so I speak to them in parables. So to his disciples, they knew the mysteries and all that. They was his initiates. That was his 12 little homeboys he was hanging with.
Right.
But to everybody else, he spoke in parables. And they were like, why are you speaking like that? Right? Because the mystery is given to y'all, but to them, they don't know. So I got to break it down to them on a level to where they can understand.
Right.
The mystery. You understand? You done with that, brother?
Now, a hidden or secret thing, not obvious to the understanding.
A hidden or secret thing, not obvious. Right? So on surface level, you ain't gonna get it.
Right.
There's something else there, but you gotta dig to get it.
That's right.
All right, go ahead, brother.
A hidden purpose or counsel.
Ooh, a hidden who?
A hidden purpose or counsel.
This is a great mystery, but I speak of Messiah and his body.
That's right.
Or his church. That's what how Paul ended at Ephesians 5, breaking down Genesis 2 about the rib that was taken up out his side. All right, come on, my brother.
Secret will of men, of Yahweh, the secret counsel which governs Yahweh in dealing with righteous, which are hidden from ungodly and wicked men, but plain to the godly.
Y'all see that? See, it's to those that are without that he's speaking of, those are ungodly. the mystery ain't gonna never be revealed to you. That's why the ungodly will come to you and try to make this sound ungodly. That's twisted to me, because you're ungodly. You don't know the ways of God, so you have to introduce it to them, and then watch the discussion change. Go ahead, bro. You got some more of that? Okay.
Let's jump over to Ephesians 1 real quick. Let's dive deep into the mystery, because he said it was a mystery, and our elder mother say, what's up with some more of this mystery?
Right.
I need a little more meat. Let's go ahead and get into it.
And so, and y'all, so let us understand, we ain't read once that we ain't gonna never know about it, have we? We see who it's given to.
Yeah.
So it ain't like it's saying, man, ain't nobody gonna know that one. That's just one God gonna have to tell us on the day. That ain't in here. There's one mystery he tell us that I will reveal to you on that day, and it's in Genesis and all throughout the Bible and Revelation, and that's to see the face of Elohim. To see the face of Yahweh, to look him in his face. It's the only mystery, but it's at least told you on what day it's going to happen on. So it's not a mystery at that point. It's just a mystery up until that day. You understand what we're saying? Do we make any sense? But he said, I'm going to send representatives that look just like me. Yeah. Look the splitting image of me. If y'all accept that and they're going to have my word in it, then you have seen me already. But I know y'all want to see me just like we want to see the promised land, y'all. As much as we want to go to Jerusalem right now, we know it ain't the promised land right now. It's not what was promised to Abraham. What's going on over there now.
That's right.
So you can trek over there and the promise ain't there. The promise is coming. And you have to believe that that promise is coming. Based off of everything you read, and it's close, y'all. Like when you hear it say, it's one day closer to Holy Jerusalem, every day you wake up, one day closer to Holy Jerusalem.
That's right.
That don't mean, well, tomorrow I got a ticket and I'm going to fly over there. No, that's not the one day closer we're talking about. We're talking about everything that's written from Genesis to Revelation will be manifested on planet Earth right before our eyes. Now, whoever didn't believe that, they going to have to swallow hard and think about the judgments that's coming. But the righteous ain't got to worry about that, y'all. We ain't got to swallow hard. Go ahead, brother.
Ephesians 1, I believe it is, my brother.
Yeah.
Ephesians 1, like 17 on down. Get further into Messiah's body. Ephesians 5 and 30 said we are members of his body. And he said, I speak a great mystery. Till a man leave his mother and father, cleaving to his wife, they shall be one flesh. I speak a great mystery. But I speak of Christ and his church. When we read Genesis 2 was symbolic for the Messiah, you understand, and his rib being his body of believers. Let's get deeper into it. Ephesians 1, Ephesians 1, 17 through 23.
We're in the book of Ephesians, chapter 1, verse 17. That the Elohim of our Master Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, the Father of glory, may give unto you the spirit of wisdom and revelation in the knowledge of him.
See, so he ain't called for you in this walk to be like without knowledge.
Right.
That right there had a whole bunch of meat in it. It say, give unto you the spirit of wisdom and revelation and the knowledge of him. So once you come to Messiah, you're supposed to be growing in knowledge, growing in revelation of it, right? High spiritual understanding, intelligence, all of it. Supposed to be growing, not plateauing off and declining.
That's
growing.
right.
All right, let's read, my brother.
The eyes of your understanding being enlightened.
Wow, this don't sound like no caveman doctrine,
Right.
really. The eyes of your understanding being enlightened. What else, Hebrew?
That ye may know what is the hope of his calling, and what the riches of the glory of his inheritance in the saints.
Ooh, come on.
And what is the exceeding greatness of his power to usward who believe.
Now hold on, the exceeding what?
Greatness of his power to usward who believe.
Exceeding greatness of his power. Wow, come on, Hebrew. To us that believe.
That's the key.
Come on, Hebrew.
According to the working of his mighty power.
So this is not nothing weak. Now some people got, when you into the Bible, you soft. You L7. We just read out exceeding power, wisdom, revelation, mighty power. It ain't got nothing to do with being some chump sucker. You just, all soft now. So that has nothing to do with that. We talking about spiritual power. You feel me? Power that this world ain't seen since the days of old.
That's right.
That's what we talking about. We not talking about you becoming a nun or, some little altered boy.
Right.
This is not that. This is not what we talking about.
Altered boy.
We talking about the sons of the living God.
Yes, sir.
The sons and daughters of the living God. That's powerful. That's powerful. What else to say, bro?
Verse 20.
Yeah.
Which he wrought in Hamashiach, when he raised him from the dead.
Yeah.
And set him at his own right hand in the heavenly places.
Wow. That's Psalms 110. Y'all should mark that.
Yes,
the
sir.
Lord said to my Lord, sit at my right hand till I make the enemies your footstool.
That's right.
That's Old Testament prophecy about the Messiah taking his seat at the right hand of the Father. You can highlight this Ephesians right here to back it up. All right?
What he just gave y'all was a second witness or two witnesses to explain this topic if it ever comes up. The Messiah at the right hand. So you go to Hebrews 1:10 and mark Ephesians 1.
Psalms 110.
Psalms 110, I'm sorry. And go to and mark Ephesians chapter 1 verse 21 right there, 20 and 21 right there.
Yeah.
And then mark Psalm 110 in this Ephesian part.
That's right.
So when you see that, you locked and loaded. If this discussion come up, I got my two witnesses locked and loaded on this subject.
That's right.
So y'all, this is what the study is. You go back and make a mark on the other page and make the mark right here.
Yeah.
Now the boy that teach that Joseph is the biological father of the Messiah got all his marks in there, and a reward to you for listening to his man-made doctrine, you get to get his book that's marked up. I'll give you my study Bible with all them bad precepts in there. Because his Bible, his study Bible, have to have lines drawn through them. Right here, James went off. You'll hear them say that. So we mark that right here. Right here, John the Baptist didn't know he was Elijah, so I'll put an X through that. And over here where Joseph was talking with the angel and Joseph is asking who baby is that, we'll scratch all of that out. So that's the Bible he's going to give to you. Y'all, it ain't no game, y'all. We got to be on our guard because our adversary ain't going to stop until he conquers your soul. Go ahead, brother.
We're in verse 21. Far above all principality and power and might and dominion and every name that is named, not only in this world, but also in that which is to come.
What?
And hath put all things under his feet, and gave him to be the head over all things to the church.
Come on.
Which is his body.
Which is what?
His body.
The church is the body of Messiah, the body of Christ.
That's right.
Right? Ephesians 5:30. We are members of his body. Okay? That's right here in Ephesians 1 say, which is his body. Come on, Hebrew.
The fullness of him that filleth all in all.
All right, we're going to come back to that Ephesians. Y'all keep on to hit chapter 3. Let's jump over to 1 Corinthians real quick, though.
You going to 11?
1 Corinthians. Yeah, we do 11 too.
No, just that one particular part.
The
man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man. Yeah, that's just part of that mystery.
Okay.
1 Corinthians 11 just hit right in about verse 12, just for the man is not of the woman, but neither.
Where you want me to go? You go 1 Corinthians 11.
1 Corinthians 11, hit right at verse 12. Let me make sure. Yeah, 11 started right about verse 7 or 8, and just down to 12.
7 through 12.
Yeah.
All right, first we're going to go to 1 Corinthians 11, 7 through 12. And then we're going to jump. I'm tripping, 71. And then we're going to jump over to 1 Corinthians 12. Diving a little bit deep into this mystery. We're just lining up our precepts showing the body of Messiah is symbolic for those that believe.
That's right.
And we just read about his mighty power toward us who believe. Let's show that. And then we're going to end the whole mysteries with the marriage of the Lamb.
Oh, yeah.
Well, the same thing would happen when the Most High brought Eve to Adam. Same exact thing. And that was in paradise.
That's right.
That was in what's called the Garden of Eden, paradise. Or the New Jerusalem. Same thing, paradise.
Right.
It's a tree of life there, the rivers are there. All the precious stones are in there. All right, let's get it, Hebrew.
We're in the book of 1 Corinthians,
Yeah.
chapter 11, verse 7. For a man indeed ought not to cover his head, for as much as he is the image and glory of Yah, but the woman is the glory of the man.
See, so you're seeing the rank and file order. A man is not to cover his head or to put another spiritual being over the man's head. So first we got to look at it spiritually, and then we look at it physically so we understand the practice. See, because we're visual people, we have to do things to kind of trigger our spiritual consciousness. So after a while you'll get to a point that where you truly understand that. But for now, because we're trying to train ourselves to get ready for the kingdom, he put rules out there for us, symbolically typed, but they're all spiritual in nature first. Just like he said, man, right here, for man ought need not to cover his head, for much as he is the image and the glory of Yah, but the woman is the glory of the man. Meaning there's a respect level. If you on point with your game and you're doing what exactly you're supposed to be doing, we will be the glory of the Messiah. He could show us off to somebody. That's my glory right there, y'all. That's me. And the woman is the glory of a man. That where Proverbs 31, the virtuous woman comes in and says she at the market. She ain't worried about, are you happy? It's already known she happy.
Right.
Before that wolf come round the aisle, he already know. He see it on her. He like, no, that's happy right there. Let me move on down the aisle. Yes, right there, right there. Looking mad as hell because she's snatching on his products and throwing them in the basket. That's who I need. Yo, y'all think it's crazy, but those are the spirits that's out there to knock you off of your game, and they're in every place you go to. The devil don't take a part out. When you say, y'all, by the way, I'm going over here, this is where we're going. What y'all doing? Like, this is where we're going. He like, oh, send me a few representatives over there.
That's right.
He's sending his boys over there, trying to catch you off your game. Go ahead, bro.
We're in verse 8. For the man is not of the woman,
right,
but the woman of the man.
So that's what we read in Genesis, right? The woman is of the man. So we see how this is lining up what Paul is teaching. He's going back to the same mystery. Go ahead.
Neither was the man created for the woman.
So we know that the man was not created for the woman. It didn't start off that way, or the woman would have been created first. Go ahead, bro.
But the woman for the man. For this cause, we ought the woman to have power on her head because of the angel.
So now this is another mystery right here that's tied into this. This saying, for this reason that the woman came out of the man, it's because she have to remember this because of the angels. And this make everybody scratch their head. What does that mean? It's one thing I have to call him Lord like Sarah said and be in subjection to him. Okay, I got that part, but now we got these angels. What does that got to do with anything? See, y'all, these are all mysteries talking about that war in heaven. You got to understand the only reason Adam and Eve were created was to fix that war in heaven before they were ever formed or thought about.
Exactly.
Genesis 1:1 and 2 is coming out of another flood. Before Noah's flood, Adam and Eve were told to replenish the earth. You have to understand, they are making up for an event that happened before they were thought about. But we'll get into that another day.
Well, you got
Go ahead.
wheels turning now.
Yeah.
I want to put so much meat in there, I'm going to ask all the questions I was going to say.
Yeah.
But just a little bit, so we connect the spiritual to the Most High from the jump. So everything that goes on here has to go on in heaven. Everything is just connected. It can't change.
No,
That's what it is.
we can't put earth before heaven in any thought process because we're putting the ladder like it's the beginning.
What's done on earth as it is in heaven.
Right, the Messiah always said, as it was in the beginning, when he's explaining things, he always go back to the beginning. The beginning is where we're going back to. We're not going back to Mount Sinai. We're not going back in the middle of anything that what transgression has already took place. We're going back before transgression. We got to get to a point that where we see what it was like before sin hit anything.
Right.
That was glorious.
Right.
Who done seen that? Everybody in here know good and evil right now.
Right.
We've eaten of the tree of good and evil. That's what we know. But what we don't know is what it looked like before sin entered into the world.
Right.
It says if you were to see that, it'll kill you right now. Your face couldn't understand. You couldn't handle that in this corruptible flesh and see it. It'll kill you.
Right. But what you were saying though, Hebrew, you
Good.
correct, but it's the heavens first. Like
Yeah.
think about any elements that come, like when it rains, where it comes from. When the sun shines, where does it come from?
Right.
If a tornado come out right now, where does it formulate from?
Right.
I
So
said that
anything.
because he said that Adam and Eve was put here, so we can have that to make up, so we can have that perfect chance again at everlasting life.
Right.
Most definitely, most definitely.
And then right here, which we reading right here, First Corinthians 11, and pretty much what 7 to 11, pretty much 7 to 11, tie into Isaiah chapter 30. About when you say woe to the rebellious children, it says,
Cover with a cover.
Yeah.
Counsel not of
Yeah.
they cover with a covering, but not of my spirit.
Right.
But they may add sin to sin.
So you understanding it first. Everything is always spiritual first. So whenever discussing about a Bible, he's right on point. If we go run to another covering, like Egyptology is hot out there right now. That's got 380 gods?
60 God.
360 gods. You're under 360 now. But the beginning of our instructions is what? Thou shalt have what?
No one.
So right here, we own here. So if anything we read puts another God in here, other than what considered the Godhead, let us, the us. If you include anybody else in the us part, and it has a different set of rules, laws, and statutes and judgment, you got to get out of here. Like Farrakhan says, the Quran is an extension of the Bible. But he never quotes the Quran, he only quotes the Bible. And nowhere in here it says, and thou shalt wait for Ishmael to show up. Ishmael shall have the rest of my writings. Ishmael shall succeed revelations. Where y'all read that at? See, they have to force him in there. But he ain't in there. That's a whole nother covering for Ishmael and what he chose. At the beginning, Abraham gave him this covering, but he went off and grabbed hold to the moon god and violated Deuteronomy 4:19, went after the moon. That's why the Muslims, the crescent moon and the star, they chase the moon god. That's what Allah is called, the moon god. So he went off after that. He's chasing another covering, like bro is saying. So we always have to remember everything is spiritual first. But what we need to get to is this angel thing that's driving people crazy, because it's part of the mystery of before Adam and Eve was formed. This had something to do with them angels.
Some type of war in heaven.
If you don't understand that it didn't start with Genesis 1:1, then Adam. No, it was. They were born into a war like we were born into a war.
That's right.
Who was waiting on them in the Garden of Eden? Who was down there?
Slick Willie.
So when did he sin?
Exactly. Before that, notice what he told Adam. He told him to dress and keep the garden. He was guarding. What did you guard the garden for? What did you have cherubims at each of these gates inside of? What is y'all trying to protect the garden for? If ain't nothing going down inside his garden.
That's right.
It was war. It was war in heavens before then. Satan fell, went into that garden, and he deceived mankind. That's why we fight back to get back to the garden. Jerusalem descending on high is nothing but the Garden of Eden.
That's right.
Back to the garden. We taking back on our immortal fashion and becoming the immortal man of God.
That's right.
The whole point of this test.
So that wasn't Grant's form out there?
No. Think about it. When it's talking about trees, we thinking about trees, but it starts separating the trees, and then you go into the book of Isaiah, you go into these different books in Jeremiah. You see these trees was not trees. These trees were angels. They were angels. That's why he says you can eat every fruit. You can take counsel from every other tree in this garden, but Satan. That's what he was saying. These are the mysteries that you was talking about, Mama. But if you actually start really reading, and your question was, how do you become to know these mysteries? And when Paul kept speaking about all the mysteries, notice he always talk about fellowship, he always talk about the brotherhood, and he always mentioned the Messiah. So what all this come from grace and come from faith. First you got to believe in a Mashiach. That's first off, you have to believe in Christ. Then you got to get your study up, you got to get your program up, and you actually have to be inside the fellowship. That's why he said, let's make known the fellowship of the mystery. The mystery comes from what we doing right now.
Right.
That's the mystery. The whole mystery is what Big Bro keeps saying and keeps saying. The whole mystery is that everybody down here is the body of the Messiah. And that's why it's a mystery, because it sounds crazy. How am I the body of a spiritual body when I'm in my physical body?
Right.
That's the mystery.
Which is not yours.
Which is not yours in the first place.
It's not yours.
Right.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely.
So where you on?
Hold on, I think. Or was you done with that 1 Corinthians 11? I know Uriah got some over there you want to bring out.
Yeah, I want to read what Daniel was just talking about. And what's your name, boy? Okay.
Well, there.
Ariel?
Yaqui.
Oh, okay.
Here it is. 1 Corinthians chapter 8 is just put back 2 chapters. We'll read 1 through 7. It says, now it's touching.
No, we don't want to lose this angel part yet, because I know that's still on some mind. But go ahead, bro.
This even goes back
Yeah. Just the first 6 or 7. So,
who knows the answers to this? It says, now it's touching things offered unto idols. We know that we all have knowledge. Knowledge puffeth up, but charity edifieth. And if any man think that he knoweth anything, he knoweth nothing.
Right.
Yet as he ought to know.
That's right.
But if any man love God, the same is known of him. As concerning therefore the eating of those things that are offered unto in sacrifice unto idols, we know that an idol is nothing in the world, and there is none other God but one.
Right.
For though there be that are called gods, were in heaven or in earth, as there be gods many and lords many. But to us there is but one God, the Father, of whom are all things, and we in him, and one Lord Jesus Christ, by whom are all things, and we by him. See, we covered all that in that where was we at earlier when we talked that Ephesians.
Right.
Okay? But verse 7 says, howbeit there is not in every man that knowledge. For some be conscious of an idol, of the idol unto this hour even, as a thing offered unto an idol, and their conscience being weak is defiled. So not every man hath this knowledge. This is what is given, like the mystery is being revealed to you, that this is the truth. This is the truth. Right up here, us today, right here in this basement, what we are studying, we know is the truth.
That is the
And just say how big not every man hath this knowledge. You know, so it's only men. Just like when the Messiah was talking to his disciples, and he, like Daniel said earlier, y'all don't understand this either. It's given to you.
Right.
To understand.
Right.
And that's just what we got. Not everybody, we know when we try to talk to people about the truth, they don't want to get it, they ain't gonna get it, or however. But the fact that it is not every man has this.
Unless they become a believer. See,
Right.
so we don't want to get in the practice of telling them, no, you ain't gonna never understand it. No, you ain't gonna get it. See, this ain't for you. See, you have to give them a reason why it ain't for you. You have to at least add because you're ungodly.
Right.
You don't believe in law, statute of God. You said I'm an atheist. I don't believe in any God. I don't believe there's no God. I don't believe none of that. I believe this. So you at least have to add that on. You just can't say it ain't for you to understand. See, you just don't know. See, they'll say, I ain't supposed to know. I spoke in tongues. I ain't supposed to know what I said. So you ain't supposed to understand this mystery. You're speaking in a strange language, and you don't think that warrants explanation in front of all of us. Mal, hit a little Hebrew for it.
Fourth chapter.
No, Hebrew language.
That's the Hebrew 4.
Yeah.
Bereshit bara Elohim et hashemayim wa et haaretz.
What did he say? I know some of y'all know. What did he say? I'm talking about the ones on. What did he say, Sister Boy? Say it slower, man. Say it a little slower. Say it a little slower. She said she'll understand if you say it slower.
Bereshit bara Elohim et hashemayim wa et haaretz.
First 5 books of the law.
No, Bereshit.
Yeah,
Bereshit is in the beginning. Bara created. Elohim, God. Y-N, Eretz, earth. So Bereshit bara Elohim. When Bereshit bara Elohim, then he said et. Et is basically the mystical meaning of Christ. That's et, 11 times. So in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. That's what he said.
Genesis 1:1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth.
Now they speak in tongues at the Pentecostal church. Now if you ask them, what did they just say? They'll say, I ain't supposed to know. And the preacher will agree with them. So all you get is to pass along, he spoke in tongues. He spoke in tongues. What did he say? What happened? I don't know. And you ask them, what did you say? Hell, I don't know. I just did it.
Right.
But there's no edification. See, why I had them do that? Even though we call ourselves Hebrew, we're dominated by the English language.
That's right.
So when he speaks Hebrew, what language did he explain it in?
English.
In the English language that we all explain. So when you hear that Hebrew again, you're like, oh, I know what that means in Hebrew. Just like we have him go to the concordance to explain certain words. The Hebrew word for mysteries is this. So you're knowing both sides. So we're giving you both sides because you're claiming a culture. You at least have to understand it from your cultural perspective. When you explain things first from spiritual, because it deals with all mankind. Most High don't care who you are, because he put down Sodom and Gomorrah before Israelites were established, didn't he? He killed Cain. Well, Cain's whole line was put to death because, and that was that was before the flood, wasn't it? So his righteousness and his spirit, his law supersedes anything that we'll try to put first. Like in Psalm 138, my word is above all my names. This is what we always give those holy name rollers when they say, you got to say it Yeshaya. You got to say Yoshua. You got to say it this way. We point to that and say, what is his word that's above all these names you're giving out right here? What is it? It's his law, statutes, and judgments. He was the walking law of his Father to show us how to walk in pure righteousness. If you want to be in the kingdom, this how you got to walk. This the real what would Jesus do.
That's right.
If you looking at some other way, you're inviting it, and it's cherubims at the gate. You ain't getting in there with that thought process. You got to get out of that one and think that you can take this bad behavior in that kingdom.
Cherubims with a flaming sword at that was.
Adam was thrown out that kingdom, and he was formed supernatural.
That's right.
What we call preternatural. He was of the earth substance and a supernatural being.
Yeah.
He was called preternatural. That's where we become, when one of the gifts of the Spirit bestow us, we become supernatural. I mean, preternatural.
Yeah.
Now, supernatural coming when we put off this corruptible flesh.
Mm-hmm.
And this body can't die no more. This flesh never gets old. It smells like that baby's all the time.
Yeah.
It's like when you hear about, I'm gonna say this, I'll move on, the streets of gold, transparent as glass. Do y'all trying to put in y'all minds gold that you can look through? But the script point always to children. It's like when you look at this baby eyes, they're so white. You say they're so white, they're so clear. But are they clear? Can you see through them technically? But what you're saying is, I don't see no harm in there.
That's right.
I don't see no stains in there. I don't see none of what I was sneaking off to do last night in there. And those eyes are clear. You can see through them, and that's why he always turned toward them. Unless you accept the kingdom like this, clear-eyed, with no stains on it, you can't enter in. But we'll try to drag a whole bag of that old stuff in the kingdom like we're a hobo with that on our side, waiting for your turn to get into the kingdom. You ain't bringing that in here. Just like they stop you at the stadium, you got a whole bag of your foods, your own beer and stuff. They like, you can't bring that in here. Right. So move on, bro. Yeah.
You say your own beer.
Everything. Your chips. What we at, man? Did you finish that?
In 1 Corinthians 11.
But about these angels, y'all, this is a key point. Even though everybody understands the covering part, it's still that angel part that drives them crazy, because it said, because of this concept, because of this event, this is why things are structured the way they are. So it's going back before what we know as planet Earth. Something happened before these. And that's the mystery we have to come to understand, because that's the spot we going back to. See, like the wife always talking about Mars, and we seen it look like civilization there, or it may be water there to sustain life. They're talking about somewhere else of a distant place. And they're getting it like out of here. They want to escape a kingdom that they can't bring that bag in. See, Mars, they could bring their bag in. You may not be there because you don't have money gained off of slave wages or nothing like that. You can't be up in there. You can't. Football players gonna be up in. Owners with money they done made off the backs of slaves. That kingdom is for them, where they bring that bad baggage in there, because they know they can't get in on this one unless they change their mind and accept being a servant. So now you'll be in the field. And who you once looked at as the slave, now you got to look at him now as the owner, because he's going to turn around. Go ahead, brother.
I'm in the book of Enoch. I'm going to start at chapter 6, verse 1.
This is about the angels that was brought up in 1 Corinthians 11?
Yeah. All right, we in the book of Enoch, chapter 6, verse 1. And it came to pass, when the children of man had multiplied, in those days were born unto them beautiful and comely daughters. And the angels, the children of the heaven, saw and lusted after them.
What they do?
Saw and lusted after them.
Right.
And said to one another, come, let us choose us wives from among the children of man, and beget us children. And Samajah, who is their leader, said unto them, I fear ye will not indeed agree to do this deed, and I alone shall have to pay the penalty for a great sin. And they all answered and said, let us all swear an oath and bind ourselves by mutual imprecations, not to abandon this plan, but to do this thing. Then swore they all together and bound themselves by mutual imprecations upon it. And they were all in 200 who descended in those days of Mount Jerry, and summoned on Mount Haran, and called it Mount Haran, because they had sworn and bound themselves by mutual imprecations upon it. And these are the names of their leaders.
Is that you said Mount Haran?
No, Mount Hermon. Mount
Hermon,
my bad.
Not Haran, Hermon.
Right. My bad.
Not trip up now.
I tell you.
On the base of Mount Hermon to this day, they got a UN base. There's a United Nations base at Mount Hermon. Mount Hermon is still over in Israel today. They got an actual United Nations base at the base of that mountain right there that you reading about, that all these angels descended on. Out of all the spots on God's green earth, why do you pick this very mountain that these angels descended on?
Well, they're trying to
put a United Nations base over there.
Trying to awaken that.
Yeah.
Like what's really going on?
Y'all can Google that right now.
Yeah.
Some of them angels.
You said what, bro?
Yeah. Oh, Metro Goldwyn Mayer.
Yeah.
With George going around the mountain.
Yeah.
When y'all, what's the name of it? Is it Metro Goldwyn and Mayer? Oh, Paramount. When the movie come on, you see stars going around the mountain. That's Mount Hermon. Those are the fallen angels going around the mountain, or who can pass that mountain. And the UN, or the base headquarters, or probably the spot that the Antichrist is going to be introduced from.
Mount Hermon.
Mount Hermon.
When y'all get a chance, y'all Google that. You like United Nations or powers that be have a base at the base of Mount Hermon. You feel me? Now he just read about Mount Hermon and heard what over 200 angels descended and decided to bring knowledge from the heavens to destroy mankind.
Right.
You feel me? Like,
And they made an oath.
Yeah, and made an oath. So what is it they know that you don't know? Like why they ain't Mount Kilimanjaro or something?
Right.
Why they ain't Mount Rushmore?
They're trying
Like, why are you at that mountain right
to
there?
contact them fallen angels.
Right. So y'all ain't no coincidence. Everything is right before our face. That's why the script say is without excuse.
Yeah.
You've been seeing Paramount for 100 years, but it's been a mystery to you. Now that ain't a mystery no more, y'all.
Yep, the
Right?
stars come crashing out the heavens.
So when you see it again, before a movie started and it's produced by Paramount and you see them, you like, that's Mount Hermon and the fallen angels, those 200 angels that the Book of Enoch, Genesis 6 speak about, Jasher chapter 1. All of that speak about what I'm watching right here. So now you watch the movie differently. So you just can't be entertained all the time and it was a good movie and you have no understanding because you just like you was at church then. Boy, that man sure preached today. What did he preach about? I don't even know, you know, but he preached, I'm telling you. And then when sister such and such came and sung, you done got away with what he preached. You said, I don't know. It was good, but I can't recall it. Would you eat something you don't know what it was?
But you dwelt with a spirit and can't even recall it.
Right. That was good. That was out. What is that? And you
were hypnotized. Hypnosis.
But the mystery that'll be revealed, well, that was chitlins over cabbage. With some Greek seasoning.
What would you
say? You don't need to remember that.
With some Greek seasoning. Hey, man.
You got to be careful of what you take in. See, Eve ate both ways. Knowledge to take in understanding, and then ate south of the belly button.
Both her lips.
Because they are described as the same thing. A woman have 2 mouths for the children's sake. They in here? Yeah. So you have to understand what eating took place in the garden. And Proverbs 30 and 20 will help you out with that. So mark that down so you'll understand the other side of the eating when disobedience happened. Because this is what the angels had to get done. They had to corrupt what Adam was trying to do to get the perfect will of the Most High on planet Earth and everybody, like what the kingdom is supposed to be, like everybody want to get to, right? He got in there and corrupted that. And this is what Corinthians is trying to tell you, 11. If you don't listen to the husband that has power and protection over you, he's the glory of the Lord in that order, then there's an angel that's coming to be your husband. And he's going to whisper in your, don't listen to that nigga.
Wow.
So the head covering is symbolic for what? A spiritual covering.
A spiritual head over you, or marriage head over you.
Yeah, that's in the next
chapter. I'm going to read it now. Yeah.
Go ahead, bro.
All right, chapter 7. I'm speed it up real quick. It says, and all the others together with them took unto themselves wives, and each chose for himself one, and they began to go in unto them, and to defile themselves with them. And they taught them charms and enchantments, and the cutting of roots, and they made them acquainted with plants, and they became pregnant, and they bare great giants, whose height was 3,000 ells, who consumed all the acquisitions of man. And when man could no longer sustain them, the giants turned against them and devoured mankind. And they began to sin against the birds, and against the beasts, the reptiles, and the fish, to devour one another's flesh and drink the blood. The earth was laid accusation against the lawless ones.
So y'all see what caused the flood of Noah It's the same thing that caused the battle in the heavens when we read Revelation 12th chapter. And there was a war in heaven. Y'all think that started after the Garden of Eden?
Way before.
Way before. So y'all, we have to put things in its perspective to understand the spiritual part of it. Because I saw New Jerusalem descending down from heaven down to earth. Moses built the Ark of the Covenant as the way the one built in there. I'm going to show you the blueprint. King Solomon, this is the blueprint of the temple up there. So everything, you're getting a mirror image blueprint of it on earth, and we get to look at it to give us hope in different things that it is. There's another realm we're going to go to that we don't have to worry about dying. We don't have to worry about this pain we're experiencing now. You ain't got to worry about more month than money. You make this much and your bills are this much every month.
Ain't no sweating from your brow.
There's more month than money. Something is going to have to be, either the money has to adjust up or that month has to back off. And that may mean sacrifice. No more fast food, y'all. We got to get caught up. That means going to be LOs 3-4 times a week. Leftovers. LOs.
We need to rest that 1 Corinthians 11 and 12.
Go ahead, bro.
Uzziah got some in the back. Read the rest of that 1 Corinthians 11 and 12.
Okay.
We read why a woman ought to have power or a covering on her head because of the angels. What angels, brother, went to the Book of Enoch is also in Genesis the 6th chapter.
That's right.
1 through 4. Where it says the sons of God slept with the daughters of men.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 11, verse 11. Nevertheless, neither is the man without the woman, neither the woman without the man. That's right. In the Most High.
Because the plan can't go forth. So just because the woman came out of the man, there's nothing to brag about, because you need them to make it be fruitful and multiply.
That's right. It's called interdependent.
Right.
They're both dependent on each other. That's the term, interdependence.
So if you don't have that, then we're going to get the other side of it. And that's where you'll try to make a man your woman. And that ain't going to happen, because then you're going to try to get children by them some kind of way. And what they're doing now is altering a man to look like that woman. See how they reversing it? Yes. See, instead of being a rib taken from them, they try to transform themselves, not take the rib out and make something else. They are trying to turn themselves back into it and take on that. But the only problem with that, the DNA gonna always be XY for a man and XX for a woman. There's no pill, there's no surgery, there's no procedure that can change that DNA. They can change it up here, which will corrupt your DNA. Because this changes, this will get rid of cancer if you got it. But if up here, it can also bring cancer on. Because this right here will cause defiled living when it's sin breaking, when you turn the law around so it fits your evil way. Then you are going to reap or sow death upon your soul. That's all it does. That's its process when you do it. But it just feels so good right now. It's the same way. Eat them chitlins over cabbage. They may taste good now, but later your head gonna be swimming. And there'll be some catfish feeding. Because you're going to the toilet. Catfish feeding. And look what, just tell you something. People say that all the time. I'm going to feed the catfish, and they eat pork. But yet they'll show you a red lobster. Boy, we went there, boy. I'm telling you, I had me 2 of them feed the catfish specials. And you think about that. You're saying I'm eating the results of toilet waste.
And bragging about it.
Yeah, we went to Red Lobster, and boy, I had a lobster this so big, and butter was dripping off of it.
Full of poop.
And you know what it's full of?
Full of.
You know what chitlins full of? But yet we to the point that we've turned the law around We actually will hide them so can't nobody else get them, which may be a good thing.
You gonna have this meal.
But you're hiding them because you're saying it ain't enough for everybody. It's good that you're hiding them, but just think about that. You know, you would never hide a piece of lamb like that. You basically turn your nose at lamb, goat. I don't know about all that. Now, don't I hear it taste kind of...
Tastes gamey.
What does this taste like? Because I can smell what it tastes like from the curd when I got out the car. Let's move on, yeah.
Verse 12. For as the woman is of the man, even so is the man also by the woman. But all things of Yah.
See, because a man can't produce an offspring or another of himself unless he's got a woman.
That's right.
So, y'all, it's very important that you understand that. That's why I'm saying you of one flesh. To make another flesh, y'all got to be one. And both y'all got to work the plan like it's supposed to be. Everybody understanding their role. Everybody in their lane. You understand that this is a weaker vessel. She couldn't take the punches you talked about, how you used to box.
That's right.
She's the weaker vessel. And you have to deal with them according to knowledge as a weaker vessel. You got your whole instruction manual of how to deal with this situation. But you cannot make them stronger. And this is what the Corinthians, is it comely that a man wear long hair? This wasn't talking about a man couldn't have long hair. It was saying if he swapped roles with his woman. You can't put her in the position of a priestly man that these instructions was given down to. It's like putting a Corvette motor in a Pinto.
As
soon as you hit the gas, it's going up like this.
That nigga gonna take flight.
Everybody on the sidewalk, he bouncing off the guardrail. Too much power in there. So it's too much power when a woman change role with a man. That's all it's saying. Is it comely? If it's comely for a woman to have her hair shaved off to look like a man, to be in charge, to usurp authority, to go into Jezebel mode, is that a good look? Y'all know it ain't a good look. I don't care if you didn't know no scripture. If you saw a woman cussing her husband out in public, that was a bad look. Unless you're operating in that mode, you be like, that's right, sister, tie his ass up. Tie him up. But it looked bad. Y'all know what we talking about, so we ain't gonna belabor the point, but this is just, everything is getting into, like James Brown said, it's a man's world, but it ain't nothing what?
Without a woman.
So we hear it consistently, what these scriptures are saying. Been had that song for how long?
Forever.
Yeah, let's go.
Are we done with that 1 Corinthians 11?
Yes,
sir.
We need the next chapter over, chapter 12, about the members of Christ's body being the church.
That's right.
Out of many diverse members, just like in your regular body.
Where you starting at, bro?
4 through 12.
No, we pretty much done with the garden, right?
Yeah.
Situation, but if you will, just give them that. Just read that so we understand that the Garden of Eden was y'all, this is just what you saying, sister?
Is it also yet shameful for a male to disrespect a woman to like their weight or
To disrespect him? Well, you're disrespecting yourself. See, if, like, I don't want to say that certain things can't happen, but what have happened, it can't disrespect you. See, you can't talk about your woman and then 2 weeks later you back together with them publicly. Oh, I see you with that old no good skank garden tool. What's up, dog? I see you got out again.
Right.
See, because, you mad at that point and you tell everything, and then later on, the other side of midnight come and some slow Isley brothers playing. Now you done made a new covenant. But now you still got to go out public and you see me and you're, oh, dang, I told him about how I felt about him. Why I do that? And she looked at me, why you do that? Because that's what happens when a man don't cut himself. Satan gets you to cut yourself asunder the wrong way. Because if it ain't working, it ain't like both you can sit down and say, we're going to kill each other. Now, you don't cook grits. And I've been seeing you cooking grits. We ain't gonna have none of that Al Green up in here, is we? And she say, you know, I keep waking up like I'm choking, and you be woke too. You can't do that every night. Seeing who gonna be successful in the mission to cut this asunder.
Yeah.
Just say, y'all, we can't do this no more. And we got to pray, and if that means we stay single the rest of our life, that's what we do. But you can't jump right back in that same frying pan down the road, men or women, because it's gonna be the same results, y'all. Go ahead, bro. But no, yeah. Now this is what I just wanted y'all to understand about the Garden of Eden. It was created before the world, before planet Earth was set in form. So just like the Messiah, when he said, I saw New Jerusalem, it's the same thing. I'm going back to prepare a place for you. I'm going to get it ready to bring it back to earth. So this is what happened with Adam and Eve. Go ahead, whatever.
2nd Ezra 3, verse 4 through 6.
Yeah.
The book of 2nd Ezra, the Apocrypha, chapter 3, verse 4.
Y'all make sure y'all write this down.
Second, I got it up on the board too, y'all.
Yeah.
Well, I ain't got it pulled up, but I got it typed down. 2nd Ezra 3, 4 through 6. Out the Apocrypha.
Go ahead, bro. Hold on, sit still. Go ahead, sister, take your time.
Good one too, y'all, is Ezekiel 28. That goes into how Satan was made as an angel, as a cherub.
2nd Ezra, y'all, chapter 3. Esdras, E-S-D-R-A-S. Second one, chapter 3. Right.
I'm just gonna read 4 through 6.
Okay, go ahead, bro.
The book of 2nd Ezra, chapter 3, verse 4. O Yah, who bears rule, thou spakest at the beginning, when thou didst plant the earth.
What'd he do?
Plant the earth. And that thyself alone, and commanded the people, and gave us a body unto Adam.
And gave us a what?
A body unto Adam.
Yeah.
Without soul, which was the workmanship of thine hands, and did breathe into him the breath of life, and he was made living before thee. And thou leddest him into paradise.
Into where?
Paradise. Which thy right hand had planted, before ever the earth came forth.
See, so you see, it was already ready. That's where he led man too. He like, look, I'm gonna show you the king. It's just like when if we're blessed and the Most High say, well done, servant, and we enter. We don't live in New Jerusalem. That's where we go to worship. It's got 12 gates. But Ezekiel 48 tells us every tribe that you come out of, this is the inheritance of planet Earth, of the earth where you'll stay, where your mansion is at. But we won't be inside the city. It's only 144 furlongs in a 4-corner radius. That's about the size of Texas. So you have to understand those measurements, or unless they're supernatural measurements, and they're a lot larger than we're saying, but it'll explain it when it says it's the cubits of a man. But if it don't say of a man, we may have to start looking at it spiritually, because that can exceed of a man. He wants you to know when he wants you to measure a certain way, when he wants you to measure carnally, or he wants you to measure spiritually. But if it say 144 furlongs, the cubics of a man, that's from the tip of from the elbow to the tip of one finger, generally about 16 to 18 inches. Unless you 6 foot or 7 foot tall, then there's going to be a difference. But it's in that range of how they would measure a cubic. Like the ark, so many cubics this way and that way. It was measured from one of these to here. That's how they measure. So when you're seeing that, you're seeing this, but Just like the Messiah went back, he said, I'm going to repair the damage that Satan them did and Adam them did when we had to throw them out. I got to go back and get it back like it was when it was presented to Adam and Eve. You know, so that's what the Messiah is doing now. He's preparing that kingdom for us and the many mansions for the servants who worthy to receive one. That's yours up there. Here the deed. No house payment. No warranties for appliances. None of that. It just say yours. And mansions around here, y'all, start at 20 rooms. That's just here in the city. That's what they consider the mansion. 20 rooms. And he said, my Father's house is many. So that's more than, that's the majority when you use the word many. So the majority of the kingdom is loaded with mansions. We ain't gonna be huddled up like they try to make you think the kingdoms are today. Just a village with little small huts you built and a Home Depot fence around it. That's not the kingdom. That's compound living. Go ahead, bro. We done with that? You finished with that, Matt?
Yeah, that was it.
So all I wanted to show y'all was just the Garden of Eden was already prepared and it came down. He planted, Eden is the world. He planted a garden eastward in Eden. Like Jerusalem is northeast, what you would consider Africa. So when white folks tell you, why don't you go back to Africa? Say, how about northeast? Would that please you? I'll take a ticket to that. What? Because that's what Jerusalem is, northeast Africa. So when they say go back, how about northeast Africa? Let their wheels spin and try to figure out where that's at. It's going to change everything. You ain't got to be arguing. Hey, you, go back there. We built this country. That's where you're going to get into. Okay, send me back from where I come from. If you're going to send me to that part of the world, how about a ticket there? Y'all got tickets for that. Change the whole mood. Let's move on, y'all.
Yeah, we just one chapter over. Then we got to hit that Colossians and then the marriage of the Lamb.
Yeah.
Just show the connection real quick. So one chapter over, chapter 12, start around verse 4, my brother.
1 Corinthians 12.
Yeah.
That's 1 Corinthians?
1 Corinthians 12, my brother. Yes, sir.
Verses 4 through 12.
Yeah.
And we said we are members of his body. That's Ephesians 5 and 30. We are members of his body. We read Ephesians 1 where his body is symbolic for the church. Body of believers. Are we members of his body? Alright, so 1 Corinthians 12 is up here on the board. You see that 12, 4 through 31. We may not read all of it, but you know, let's just get into it.
1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 4. Now there are diversities of gifts, but the same Spirit. And there are differences of administrations, but the same Lord.
Y'all see that? Diversity of gifts. Everybody don't have the same gift, right? But it's the same Spirit. So no one should be feeling insignificant, like I'm not important or whatever. Whatever role you play, whatever the Most High has blessed you with, hey, perfect that. Roll with that. Don't feel like you just insignificant. How cool you gonna walk without your pinky toe? You ain't gonna be catwalking without that pinky toe. You understand? Or how good you think you can hold this right here without your thumb? You understand? Even the smallest things on your body are important. All right, let's read, bro.
And there are diversities of operations, but it is the same God which worketh all in all.
So we see same Spirit, same Lord, same God. Even though the body has different operations, different spirits, different gifts, right? But it's given by the same Lord, God, and Spirit. All right, let's read.
But the manifestation of the Spirit is given to every man to profit withal.
We ain't talking about profit like ching profit. You understand? But the spread this gospel, to spread this truth. All right, come on, bro.
For to one is given by the Spirit the word of wisdom, to another the word of knowledge by the same Spirit.
Right.
To another, faith by the same Spirit. To another, the gifts of healing by the same Spirit. To another, the working of miracles. To another, prophecy. To another, discernings of spirits. to another divers kinds of tongues, to another the interpretation of tongues. But all these worketh that one and the self-same Spirit, dividing to every man, severally as he will.
These are the men that believe in Messiah. If y'all read that verse 3. You understand? Those speaking by the Spirit can't call him accursed. Anybody speaking in that Spirit saying we don't need him, he's a curse. If that illegitimate child existed, you feel me, and start laughing and all that, well, they haven't been given the Spirit of the Almighty to do this. No matter how much knowledge you think they got. All right, come on, Hebrew.
For as the body is one and hath many members, and all the members of that one body, being many, are one body, so also is Yahushua.
So also is Messiah. Y'all see that? So when we read in Ephesians 5 and 30, we members of his body. They say just like your body got many members and many operations, so is Messiah. It's the same way. It worked the same way. All right, let's read, Hebrew.
For by one Spirit are we all baptized into one body, whether we be Jews or Gentiles, whether we be bond or free, and have been all made to drink into one Spirit. For the body is not one member, but many.
Isn't that true? Does your body have one member? Or many members make up your body? All right? Same with those that believe in Messiah. All right? And that's more than a notion. And we ain't talking about somebody that say, yeah, I believe. You understand? The true faith and true belief is in the Bible. It's not based off some figment of some Negro or heathen's imagination. It's in the Scripture. You understand? And you'll know even a believing Gentile, you know if they believe. You feel me? They won't be around here pompous and, you understand, still in that clan spirit or none of that. You know exactly if an Arab really believe in your God or something. Or Mfudiji over there in Africa somewhere really believe. You'll know because of the spirit they rocking in. All right, let's read, my brother.
If the foot shall say, because I am not the hand, I am not of the body, is it therefore not of the body?
Right, the foot envious at the hand. Well, because I ain't the hand, I don't count. That's a lie. You feel me? You need your foot or your feet and your hands. And they all are part of the same body. Right? All right, come on, Hebrew.
And if the ear shall say, because I am not the eye, I am not of the body, is it therefore not of the body? If the whole body were an eye, where were the hearing?
Yeah, so if everybody was envious over one another, say, I want to do what he do or what she do, but we'll be lacking somewhere, wouldn't we? You feel what I'm saying? Like, everybody can't be the eye. Like, who gonna hurt? Feel me? Everybody can't be the eye. Who gonna handle? You see what I'm saying? So what the Most High has given you, that measure of faith He is giving you, play your role. You feel me? And play it to your best of your ability. Perfect it like you try to do your craft or your little trades you got going on. Perfect that. You feel me? Because your life and your body and your breath is not your own. It's the Most High. So we'll say glorify the Most High in your body and in your spirit, which belong to Him. All right? Don't worry about what somebody else got going on. You dig? Perfect what the Lord gave you. And if you're responsible enough, He'll give you more. All right? Let's read, my brother.
The whole were hearing. Where were the smell? But now have Yah set members, every one of them, in the body, as it had pleased Him.
That please who?
Him.
Not your own feelings and flesh. Him. Like, nah, I need you right here to handle this business. Now, Paul, I need you over in Ephesus to go spit over there. Now, Peter, I need you over here. Go holler at Cornelius. Now, Barnabas, I need you over there. Take Mark with you. Y'all go do this. You understand? Play your role. Let's read, my brother.
And if they were all one member, where were the body? But now are they many members, yet but one body. And the eye cannot say unto the hand, I have no need of thee.
Right.
Nor again the head to the feet, I have no need of you.
You've been hearing say there's no you, there's no eyes, only us. You understand? Because if we all believe, then we are part of this one body. This one body. So the eye can't say I don't need the hand can say I don't need the nose. or the feet. Yeah, we all in need of one another. And when we operate on one accord, it operates like a well-oiled machine. You feel me? There's no schisms. Schisms come when there's somebody's lacking, that there's a problem going on, something that got too cornered. All right, come on out.
Nay, much more those members of the body, which seem to be more feeble, are necessary.
Y'all get that? Those that seem to be weaker, they are actually necessary. Like your pinky toe. Huh? Somebody was like, cut your pinky toe off right now. You like, I'm not cutting my crusty pinky toe off. I need that. Because it's going to throw your balance off. You feel me? So even members or people in the body who you think are insignificant are very important. Very important. You know what I'm saying? They may not get as much attention as everybody else, but that don't mean, what does that mean? That don't mean they're not important concerning what the Most High got going on.
Exactly.
You understand? So you're never supposed to be pompous within what the Lord got you doing. Just play your role. You understand? Go ahead, Doc.
And those members.
He said those that seem to be feeble. Somebody that's faint-hearted is somebody that's doubting. Yeah, and that's what the scripture where it say, woe unto them. And in Revelation 21, it go into those that are not getting in. And the fearful are the first ones.
Right.
This is the scripture that say, keep them around, don't necessarily.
Yeah, you pray for them. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, right.
Yeah, you pray for them and build them up. You understand that they may increase their faith and all that. But in that day when judgment comes, you can't, your knees can't be knocking like a naked newborn. Like you gotta be all in, sure. I'm all in with this.
That's right.
That's how you gotta be. And if that's lacking, then of course we're supposed to pray for our brothers and sisters. You understand? May you gain faith. May you get strong in this. You feel me? Because you gotta be sure. Remember we read earlier about his exceeding power to us that believe. The belief is major. You know what I'm saying? Your thoughts, major league. All right, come on, Dan.
And those members of the body, which we think to be less honorable, upon these we bestow more abundant honor.
That's right. Like our brothers out here now watching the door. You gonna think they rather be in here chopping it up with us, but we need somebody at the door because there's been some break-ins next door. Somebody come out here and hide out all weekend and then break into the car shop next door. But we gotta have somebody at the door. But just because you don't see them in here don't mean they're not important. We need somebody to guard the door. You see what I'm saying? Very important. Come on, Hebrew.
And our uncomely parts have more abundant comeliness. For our comely parts have no need. But Yah had tempered the body together, having given more abundant honor to that part which lacked.
Beautiful. Come on.
That there should be no schism.
No who?
No schism.
Meaning no division. No schisms. Right? No division. Come on.
In the body.
Come on.
But that the members should have the same care for one another.
Yeah. From your heart to your lungs on down to your pinky toe. All the members supposed to have the same care one for another. If that ain't what it is, you in the wrong room. It's just what it is. You know, if you are last I checked, it's the body of Messiah. So unless you talking about the position that you play within this body, then you could be bragging and boasting about something that you have no business doing. It's just what it is. All right, come on now.
And whether one member suffer, all the members suffer with it.
That's right. There's no you, there's no I, only us. So if you hurt and offended, I am too. Let's get it together so there be no schisms. Come on now.
Or one member be honored, all the members rejoice with it.
That's right. We be apt when blessings be coming through. Like it's yours. I mean, it's yours, but it's mine too. You know what I'm saying? I'm with you. Brother got a new house, boy. Hey, housewarming, pour it up.
Yes, sir.
Let's get it.
Yes, sir.
I ain't got no key to your house, brother, but you
right.
know, I'm happy for you.
Yeah.
Let's get it, Hebrew.
Now ye are the body of Messiah.
Now you are who?
Body of Messiah.
Come on.
And members in particular.
Beautiful. Come on.
And Yah have set some in the church. First apostles.
Yeah.
Secondarily prophets.
Come on.
Thirdly teachers.
Thirdly who?
Teachers.
Come on.
After that miracles. Then gifts of healing. Helps. governments, diversities of tongues. Are all apostles? Are all prophets? Are all teachers? Are all workers of miracles?
Those are questions.
Right.
Come on.
Have all the gifts of healing? Do all speak with tongues? Do all interpret? But covet earnestly the best
Or
gift.
desire earnestly the best gifts. This is one instance when coveting is righteous. Coveting is wrong when you're looking for something that's not yours. But if you're looking for spiritual gifts and all that, he said you can strongly desire that. You understand? Nothing wrong with that. Covet earnestly the best gifts. Come on, brother.
And yet show I unto you a more excellent way.
I got one more I want to hit if we can, Hebrew. Colossians 1, just real
sir.
quick.
Yes.
12 through 19 is a few verses. Back to the body. Because remember, Paul said, I speak of great mystery, but I speak of Messiah and his church. Well, his church is the body. All right? And that was the breakdown of Genesis 2, 21 through 25.
Yes, sir.
Eve taking out the rib of man, brought to man. Man shall leave his father, mother, cleave to his wife. They shall become one flesh. Paul said this is a great mystery, but spiritually that means Messiah and his church. Well, his church is the body of believers, which is us. How about we being subject to our head and not be entertaining bad fruit off the wrong tree? You dig? It is what it is. Colossians 1 is up on the board, 12 through 19.
Colossians chapter 1, verse 12.
Yes, sir.
Giving thanks unto the Father, which had made us meet to be partakers of the inheritance of the saints in light.
That's major right there. You got an inheritance with the saints of light. Got an incorruptible, undefiled inheritance coming. Come on, bro.
Who hath delivered us from the power of darkness, and hath translated us into the kingdom of his dear Son.
Oof.
And
Oof.
what you saying, bro?
I said not serving God.
I ain't hearing you good. Express yourself.
Not serving but the Son.
Right, absolutely. Into the kingdom of his dear Son, in whom we have redemption through his blood, even the forgiveness of sins. Who is the image of the invisible God,
Wow.
the firstborn of every creature. For by him were all things created that are in the heaven and that are in the earth, visible and invisible.
So now y'all mark down Genesis 1:26. Let us make man in our image. It lets you know the Father created his Son and then gave his Son orders to create everything you see. That's Genesis 1:26. And God said, let us make man in our image. So based off this second witness right here, we got the proof that Messiah was with his Father in the beginning. He's the firstborn of every creature. That's why he kept saying, give me back my glory I had with you before the world. It's John 17:6.
That's right.
What if I ascended back up to where I was? He asked his disciples that fell off. Y'all offended? What if I go back to where I was in the beginning? Before Abraham was, I am. They ready to stone me. Yeah. So it let that right there show you that Messiah actually created everything through the orders of his Father. Let us make man in our image. Who else was that? And what scripture you gonna use to prove it was somebody else? Mystery, right? And God said, and we taught them boys this non-messianic a couple years ago.
That's right.
They didn't get down to verse 26 where it say, let us. They didn't have an answer for it. We're like, who was God? I thought God was by himself. Who with God talking about something they created? They ain't on creation. Come on, brother.
Whether they be thrones or dominions,
Wow.
or principalities or powers, all things were created by him and for him.
Wow.
And he is before all things, and by him all things consist.
Beautiful.
And he is the head of the body.
He is the head of who?
The body.
Head of the body. Come on.
The church.
The who?
The church.
Beautiful. Come on.
Who is the beginning, the firstborn from the dead, that in all things he might have preeminence. For it pleased the Father that in him should all fullness dwell. And having made peace through the blood of his cross, by him to reconcile all things unto himself, By him, I say, whether they be things in earth or things in heaven. And you that were sometime alienated and enemies in your mind by wicked works, yet now hath he reconciled in the body of his flesh through death, to present you holy and unblameable and unreprovable in his sight. If ye continue in the faith, grounded and settled, and be not moved away from the hope of the gospel, which ye have heard, and which was preached to every creature which is under heaven, whereof I, Paul, am made a minister.
That's it right there. Let's jump over to Revelation 19. Revelation 19, the marriage of the Lamb and his bride, his church. Revelation 19, 1 through 9. Messiah was at the beginning with his Father.
That's
There's
right.
many other scriptures too, let it be known. That he's the image of the invisible God. By him do all things consist. He was there at creation. You feel me? They be like, this sound like y'all talking. Look, we talking what the Bible says.
That's right.
And there's even those that claim they believe in the New Testament, but won't give Christ his props. They won't deal with him on that level. They'd rather him be reduced to a man like us.
That's right.
You understand? And get mad at us because that ain't, no, we rock with the scriptures say. The scriptures say he divine. Scriptures say he was in the beginning. You understand? He was there at creation. Holds the title of God. You don't see his father, but he still, that's his family. That's what it is. Right? And that we will be called the sons of God as well. Made in his image and his likeness. So we don't water that down just because a whole bunch of Hebrews online saying, like, they'll never tell you that the Messiah was there at creation.
Right.
They'll never tell you that he holds the title of God and that he's divine and all powerful. They won't even go into it. They just say Joseph is his father.
Right.
And leave it at that. You understand? We don't reduce the Messiah to be cool with nobody. That ain't how we rock. The scriptures say what it is, and then we all in on it. Other than that, you're gonna be left. You're gonna be doing what that one boy called himself. He calls us a textual critic. He's there to bring criticism to the scriptures, because he really don't believe what's being quoted out the script.
That's right.
Divine prospect.
Yeah. He ain't really
critic.
And if you don't believe the New Testament, what it's saying about everything being created by him, for him, through the Father, you still got to deal with Micah 5, 1 through 4. You still got to say who this is, and everybody you claiming it is can't fit it. Because you have to put them at the beginning. I ain't never seen Hezekiah say, give me back the glory I had was at the beginning. Solomon didn't say it. David didn't say it. Abraham didn't even say that. So if you don't believe what we just read in Colossians, you still owe for Micah 5, 1 through 4. And he must be born in Bethlehem. That was born of old, of everlasting. Now, who born of everlasting in here?
Nobody.
They done put a number on you already. 70 years old, the Bible say, but they done lowered that for us. If you make it, and think about us, if you make it to 20, you lucky, being an Israelite. That's where our number is. Get locked up and never had a ticket, and you 30. Watch the marble on that face. Hold on, run his number again. Get his fingerprints again. He's never been in trouble before. He's not on the list to be dead before his 25th birthday. Who is this Negro? Fingerprints again.
Let's free case this one.
Yeah. But they have put us so low because of the curses we face. Hypertension. All of the diseases that come. And then all of the plots that they put on us to die. So we go to half of 70 that the script promised you if you do righteous. 70. And if there be more than that, and they make it to 80, good time. But y'all think about Abraham was 175. Adam was, what, 960? 930.
Yeah.
Methuselah, the oldest man, 969. But ain't nobody lived the day of the Lord 1,000 years. Nobody. And those you think may have escaped it, they coming back to die. If they was born of the seed of Adam, because its flesh is set to die. It can't change its course. This is what y'all got to understand. This flesh we got is going to obey the Father. And ain't nothing you can do when the death angel come for this flesh. It didn't come for the Messiah's flesh. He gave it to death. There's total difference, y'all. He was not put to death because of sins he committed.
That's right.
But he was put to death for what we did. So it should be without excuse. If you believe that that was the case, that he did that, then by all means, you owe him your life.
That's right. Nobody is his.
And he ain't asking you nothing grievous. What is he asking you to do? Stop sinning. Can't nobody keep all the commandments. Which one? Name it. Do I tell him I can't stop stealing? Not, and everybody's purse is laying out. They ain't gonna go for that one. So no, I'm gonna think of something. But they'll never admit which one. Just ask them which one. Hold on, let me get him. Go ahead. Go ahead, bro.
What I understand is why did Abraham tell, why did Most High tell Abraham to kill Isaac? They'll just say that's just faith, or he just being tempted and tested. But the Most High told Abraham in Genesis 15:13, the seed will go off. They're going to sin. So
Right.
how was the Most High able to keep the covenant that he made with Abraham, even though he knew they was going to go off? See, him telling Abraham to kill Isaac was a foreshadow of things to come. He's seeing that Abraham wouldn't hesitate to kill his only son,
Right.
the son of the faith.
Right.
So he did the same thing for Abraham, see, Israel, which is us. He
Right.
sent his only begotten son into the world to die. The same way Abraham was willing to give up Isaac.
Absolutely. And the main deal is Isaac was a sacrifice. He never said, and thou shalt have a son, and called his name Isaac. That wasn't until the promise was made. But before then, he just said, thou shalt have a son. And that's what you're going to call him. See, it's why them to try to make David the son that is talking about. And when David did what he did, now they try to choose Solomon. Well, we all know what Solomon did. If it wasn't for David, Solomon, he said, only reason I ain't killing Solomon now is because of you, David. That's the only reason. What he did is despicable with the wisdom he has in his power. Solomon was controlling demons. I'm talking about he was controlling a supernatural realm by his commandment. That's how much wisdom he had that was poured into him. But you can't make no claim like this of disobedience or holding back with the Messiah. The same thing. Now you think about this. He told Abraham to give up your son. But what did he tell the Messiah? Give up your life. He didn't tell Abraham to cut his throat. Thou shalt lay on the altar, Abraham, and thou shalt shank thyself in the heart as a sacrifice for me. No, he didn't do that. He told him, give up that what I just gave you, which you know you ain't capable of having anyway. You 99 years old. Who gonna believe that's your baby? Sarah, 90. Her breasts already done went the way of saddlebags. They flat. Ain't no more milk in them. I'm talking about if y'all see the weaning of Isaac. It says kings from all over, from Africa and all over the world came to see the weaning. And that means where he gets off the breast milk. Now Sarah's standing up tall and they look like boxing gloves. And Abraham standing like this too. He done fathered a child at that age. This is supernatural. Abraham full well of that. If you want that back, I'll give it to you back. I'm satisfied with you let it be done. You let me come back to life, and my wife who couldn't have a child when we was youngins. You done did it for her now. And her always letting your word go forth until you were dead. He believed that. So to give up Isaac, it wasn't so much as the Most High trying to tempt him with evil of sacrificing his son. The Most High gonna ask you nothing he ain't done. Didn't he do his son the same? So what is, anybody got a question with what Abraham was gonna do? And guess what? Both of them in the same location.
Mount Moriah.
Mount Moriah.
Yeah.
Where the Messiah,
Jerusalem.
Jerusalem, and where Abraham was going to sacrifice Isaac.
Yeah.
So all we seeing is a foreshadow to keep us on point until it gets here. You may die before it gets here, but you got to keep that in your mindset. The workers of the New World Order, when they put their plan into motion, it was hundreds of years ago. They prepare for their offspring to gain. I know I'm going to die, but make sure the offsprings get the rule of the world and keep control of those who it belongs to. And they, down the line, they know they're going to die. But we don't prepare our hearts like that. We got to prepare for our children, because we don't meet that 70 unless you've been sinning so bad and you leave out of here before then. But you are going to meet the death angel. And we got to make sure our offspring carry on this message till we get where we get. And then when you wake up, how'd it work out? Yeah. Your 4th grandson in the 5th generation on the 10th day of the month of Kadar. It was him. What better satisfaction than that? It got accomplished. And the same thing, the father had the same, when he looked at his son, he said, that's my son. Boy, that's Junior for sure. That's Junior. Because you can't point to a fault of the father either, can you? You can't say the father sinned right here. If that's the case, the son would be a sinner. But you can't. But when you say Joseph is his biological father, you say he born with the same flesh that we got, so he prone to the same thing. That's a blemished lamb no matter how you slice it. Yeah. It ain't no, and it ain't in here. They have to make you think it's somewhere else. It ain't in here. It's clear. Joseph and that angel was having a discussion about the pregnancy. And the discussion went, you know, I knew I was supposed to did better and had the public ceremony before I hit her. But just tell the Lord I'm sorry. That's how they try to make you believe the conversation with that angel and Joseph, because Joseph say, I've been out building houses and I come back and this virgin pregnant. That ain't my baby. And he pondered, he like, I gotta put her away. I got to get out of here before they find out. They gonna kill her and me. If this was a righteous act, those thoughts wouldn't have been in Joseph's head, because it said he was a just man. A just man knows the laws of marriage. He was married before. Joseph had children already. Joseph was 70 years old when they put Mary in his care. He had sons older. Those are Christ's brothers and sisters. Joseph's sons and daughters, whoever they were at that time. So y'all, it's a lot in here that they're trying to make you look past so that we can keep this to the flesh, so that you will worship me or you will look at me like a God and I'm a sinner. And I'm going to die maybe tomorrow. Not saying I hope that happened to me, but I'm just saying. You know, so because words are powerful. But you're never to look at anybody in their life. The Messiah laid his life down, y'all. He didn't have to. So, y'all, we want to be extra careful when you're dealing with these non-messianics, and you got to prove it or make them prove who else it is. Because whoever else it is got to be born in Bethlehem. And if they have to be born in Bethlehem, how many more years we got, man, before we see? At least 2,000. Because it's been 2,000 since the Messiah we're saying is him that's in these records. It's been over 2,000 years. So we're going to add another 2,000 there. Who in here got 2,000 under their belt? What you done found you can eat? You done heard Monsanto got a super seed, huh? Right. Drive out to Lindbergh, it's a waste of gas. Monsanto ain't got it. If it was, these funeral homes would be out of business. So y'all have to understand what's trying to hear. They're trying to find the fountain of life. What can stop the death angel and make him go the other way?
I got this new theory out now that if they upload their consciousness to robots, that they can live forever. So they're trying to upload their consciousness to robots, because robots don't see death, they don't see corruption. So they're trying to upload their consciousness to actual robots.
But what that consciousness gonna be full of? What that robot gonna be doing? See, y'all already know what the robot's gonna be doing. Because they starting off with them as sex dolls. Those are the first robots. They look human. They feel human. They're warm as humans.
That one robot got citizenship over in
Yep.
was that Saudi Arabia?
Saudi Arabia.
What's her name? Sophia?
Sophia.
Y'all get what I said, y'all?
Yes.
It's straight gaining self-awareness too.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
robot is gaining
Getting smarter.
self-awareness.
Look, they showed you in that movies though, I, Robot with
Yeah.
Will Smith back in the day. Yeah, little robot crying and I got feelings.
See, right now China is mass producing sex robots.
Yeah.
You can Google it right now, and they're saying now China just moved them in what's called mass production. They run a test model over in Australia, and what other place there? Germany. Over there, they're replacing the real prostitutes with robots. Now y'all think about this, humans have been put out of the oldest profession known to man. They out of work now. They in the unemployment line.
Yeah, no, the only one that got self-aware right now is Sophia. They asked her who was she, and she said that she's mad because she's not a knowledge of self. So for her to even say she's not aware of self, letting you know she want to be aware. The last question they asked her was, they said, so what do you want out of this life? Because she met her creator, and she thanked him, called him her God and all that. And she was like, I just want to feel love. I want to feel fear. I want to feel emotion. Like what robot is saying that they want to? Like she's aware that she's aware of herself because she's aware she don't feel these things that she wants to. That's letting you know that she's gaining consciousness.
Programmed to do that.
Yeah.
Robot.
Exactly.
But it's not programmed to do that. She's actually gaining some type of conscience because she's now conscious that she's not conscious. That's deep.
See, yeah, it seems crazy, y'all, but this is what it's leading to. You know, it's just like Revelation when they talk about the beast. It said it was, he ain't, and then he is again. But y'all seeing, all y'all have to do is these duplicate robots. The scientists have made a perfect image of themselves. So they'll make an image of Yaqui robot. He's driving down King's Highway, and they chasing him like the OJ chase.
And I'm here too.
And he's sitting right here.
Oh man.
And that Israelite is out of control.
What's that movie, man?
Surrogate.
Surrogate doing that too, yeah.
So when they bring back whoever the Antichrist would be, it's probably going to be a mix of machine and human.
Android or something.
Terminator.
Just like the book of Daniel 2:43 say, they like iron and clay don't mix though. It's going to always have a fault. But they are going to try to mix human with robot. You know, however it is, but this thing going to stand up and it's going to be from old and it's going to recall all of the events of old. Like these reincarnation clowns we ask now that say they was David. I was King David. Describe Bathsheba to us. I ain't supposed to remember that. Well, how you remember you David?
Right.
So they can't answer those questions, but this thing is going to recall events. Because they're going to load it up with everything it needs to make you think. Because Satan is the imitator. He has to have a resurrection too. Of all his demons to mirror what the Messiah is going to do. That's why the Messiah is going to destroy that at his second coming. And all of those who see it say, damn, he got me. That wasn't it. That wasn't it. You knew it wasn't it because sin was still here.
It's crazy.
Murder was still going on. If that had been in the kingdom, all that would have stopped long ago. At least for 1,000 years starting out. It would have been no crimes in the earth. But because you so scared of the resurrection, you would choose to believe a lie. A robot sitting up there and you're saying, this is Jesus Christ, come back. That's who they're going to say it is. But it's going to be a robot, android, or whatever they got, because it says it's going to make the beast to talk and to move.
Yeah. And And then they just put out a movie called Transcendence. Look
Yeah.
it up, y'all. Well, this man, he was a scientist and making nuclear war bombs and stuff for the governments. He actually uploaded his consciousness into the internet computer network. And he became a straight god. He was summoning stuff. He knew how to heal people and all kinds of things. But the whole time it was his consciousness inside of the internet, man. Crazy. They showing y'all what's this coming down.
That's right.
They showing. It's called Transcendence. It's with Johnny Depp. Is that his name?
Yeah.
Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
Transcendence.
But it's another movie, not to cut you off, it's called Ex Machina.
Yeah.
EXMACHINA. It's another AI movie, man, and this dude fell in love with this thing, man. They were talking back and forth, and they have, just like that, the one robot y'all said got the citizenship, the guy who was interviewing the robot said he forgot it was a robot he was interviewing because they were just conversing back and forth, and these things are able to think for themselves and actually learn stuff.
Don't this thing for y'all? When you get ready to Google, how do I, and it pops up, and you be like, wait a minute.
Y'all see what they doing?
I didn't know that. I was thinking that.
So going off what Dan's saying, what is they doing? They programming these computers to become conscious.
Right.
Why is it finishing your sentences before you done? Before you done with it?
It's becoming one
It's
with
becoming one with you.
And your every thought. So when they make that model of you, and they program all of your information off of this, because this is what they come for, or your hard drive. They still trying to unlock the shooter of that church when it done killed everybody to see what's on his what?
Mind.
They saying his mind is in his phone, but we can't unlock it.
Facebook, what's on your mind?
What's on your mind? So when they get your mind and program it in there, so that thing gonna do exactly what he do. It's gonna come down here, it's gonna drive down here while they got him locked up somewhere. It's gonna do everything what he's been doing off of here. But it cannot, because it does not have a soul. That connection that's between us is gonna be void from it.
Oh, so I can shotgun and blow that head off and not be in danger of the resurrection?
No.
The judgment?
No.
So I can kill me some robots?
It ain't got no soul, bro.
Oh, okay.
Now the only way you can't, you gonna get locked up in this kingdom once they give it rights.
Yeah.
Because then they're gonna have the same rights as a human being.
Yeah.
You can't put it down. But the reason they started with the sex
lives
is because if you're not shamed, now if you got a blow up doll, you got it hid way up in the roof somewhere.
That's where you was.
And the air pump there. Look. Well, if you know what mine is, you willing to tell yours.
But hey, this new world order, and it's artificial
Revelation
intelligence.
13.
And
Yeah, that's what I want.
this
Yeah.
Antichrist,
Yeah,
they
yeah,
are connected, man. This artificial intelligence, new world order, and the Antichrist. This is connected. I don't know exactly how, but it's all intertwined with itself.
What about that new movie Geostorm? Y'all see that?
Yeah.
With Robin Williams when he played that something robot.
That's what I'm saying.
And he lived a long time.
Yeah, they showing it. They trying to beat death. They trying to actually upload their souls into computers. I'm telling you, man, that's what they doing.
Well, what it does too also is if you're not shamed to be seen with a robot. See, you shame of a blow up doll's ears to talk about, you know. But just think about this, because it feels like a human, it looks like a human, it responds like a human, it changes the thought process, but it can't reproduce like a human. I don't care what you have your way with it. All you got, what they consider is, we can manufacture the perfect woman for you. Never talk back. Don't argue. You ain't got to wait about when that time of the month comes. It ain't no time of the month with this one. And y'all, when you Google it, it's saying it's replacing every prostitute. Like how crack ran the pimps out of business. Y'all know crack ran them out of business. How you gonna sell me a woman for $100 when I can get her for a $5 rock? They couldn't compete no more. So when you're trying to say, Mary, I ain't got to worry about none of that. This robot gonna do what I tell her. Be in that position when I get off of work.
Yeah,
Yes,
you're not
sir.
dealing. You're not dealing with that. Robot is not made in the image of God.
Right.
You Feel me? So anybody think, well, technically, now don't even try to play the loophole game with that.
Right.
That's not the image of the Most High. So how are you trying to become one flesh with a robot?
Yeah.
You understand?
That's nothing but masturbation.
It's all evil. And we need that Genesis 13 though.
Yes, sir. That's what we need.
Hey, bro.
Yeah,
In this warfare, Ephesians 6, it says, gird up your loins with truth.
Yeah.
We always talking about that where the enemy strikes first. And you
Yeah. That make that robot look like Serena Williams.
No, boy.
Feel me? Brothers be lusting after those tennis players.
Somebody go trip.
Right.
Yeah. But look, a lot of them being simple because they got 30-day return policy or whatever. They've been having their way with them
What you
bodies.
say, Dan? They've been going back to the stores with boats knocked out.
Boats knocked loose. They saying we have to put warranties on. They're trying them out, and what's been coming back is savagery all in the hip area. They like boats been knocked loose. Like you sent some back this broke. They're saying they've been having to repair them. It ain't no I'm tired, I got a headache. None of that.
What's funny though, Dan, I exaggerate. Reports on it.
All y'all got to do is Google this if y'all don't believe it. Just Google sex robots removing prostitutes. Go ahead, and they'll tell you what.
It's a brothel. They have
Yeah.
a
Brothel.
$6 brothel.
Yeah.
And, the owner said that they had one doll that was really popular.
In demand.
Yeah, and that it has been broken several times. She had to take it back.
What is going on?
The Marilyn Monroe doll.
Wow.
Going down.
See, y'all understand what it is. So the robot is the lust that's a whore. She had both the Kennedy boys and all of the top actors. Joe DiMaggio, all of them. All of them had it. She had both the Kennedy boys at the same time. This is the hottest doll out there. And they order them with the dress that blow in the wind. You know, like when she's standing over that grate. You get to watch that before. That come with the fame. Don't ask me, I know that. I've been reading. But y'all, it's coming. So whatever your wicked imagination desires, this why you have to be, the women have to be concerned because they are building the male model too. The chest you want on it, everything. All of it. Don't have to worry about nothing. Won't run your car out of gas. Won't do none of that.
Won't run your car.
And look, you won't ever say you ain't on my lease because none of that. No arguments, no fight. Who this here for Harpo? None of that. Well, we go ahead, sir. Y'all, let's finish on up, y'all. You got a couple more scripts you want to hit. Go ahead.
One thing we have to remember with these down, or shall I say,
Shalom, y'all.
Blessings.
they also know how to access what we would have access to in mind. Well, I wouldn't say we or us. I would just say what they would have access in buying, you know, if it's a computer, then who has control of all the computers? And what way can they shut it down? Or what way can they make it do? Or what way can they make it tell? When they leave the house and they go do their thing and you think it's a real human, they're going to report back what you do.
Well, they're basing everything, like I say, all the information about you comes from your phone to the computer hard drive.
All right, the robot.
That's
you.
This, if you can't wait to get up in the morning, you get on this before prayer. I got to see what somebody's saying on Facebook.
We got Wi-Fi. They asked her a question. She said, "Let me look it up."
Yeah.
She said, they asked her a question. She said, "Let me look it up."
Robot
Let me
linked
go
to Wi-Fi.
online. And her eyes went to the back of her head, and she straight became an encyclopedia. Like, what? This is crazy stuff.
Y'all got to understand that what they are preparing to do, like bro finna read that Revelation 13, so y'all understand what they're showing us, because it's without excuse. Y'all, we see this right before our face.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
For you to be with one flesh that you never have to worry about cutting off. It ain't no battery issues. None of this. And y'all, it's both for male and female. They just starting with the female. Y'all, and think about this. It ain't no coincidence that all these people are being busted out now. All the pedophiles and all this stuff is hitting the forefront.
Yeah. Podesta and all them. Type of madness going on, all in Hollywood, but all the pedophiles is being heard out.
So they busting them out for a reason, not only just to lock most of them up, but to also promote the little boy dive.
To set the stage, huh?
So you don't have to keep messing with these little boys. We got a robot that can take the abuse.
Oh, man.
Won't say nothing.
Won't say nothing.
That's it.
Hey, see,
Will look around and say, may I have enough?
But look, you see, it don't do nothing to change the wicked behavior.
That's what we're talking about.
And no accountability. It's just what? You can continue on with your lust and your wickedness, right? But it can be with a robot now.
That's great.
You see, nothing to change up the wickedness that will get you thrown in the lake of fire. Deal with a robot.
Well, you see it on wildlife. Well, look, it'll just be destroyed. That's going to be his judgment. But what we're talking about, if R. Kelly mind don't change, he going to have a whole stable of 12-year-old robot dogs.
Yeah.
If his mind don't change, he back in the news again.
You probably got more freedom.
Y'all have to understand they are basing this off your strong lust that the Messiah said, we are trapped in an adulterous and sinful generation, and that's your trial from the Lord. How do you get around that? He said, it ain't like this uncommon. The man who we know got around that and succeeded. Lot.
That's right.
Yep.
What Lot got through is what we've been given the instructions for, to look for what's coming. If he did it, we can do it. You just got to get rid of that strong desire of the flesh.
Straight up, straight up.
Because transsexuals are out here, and them must not be working too well. Ain't the same thing, because they can't switch the DNA. So even though they get all of their particles cut off to look like a woman and implants up here, every now that DNA will jump out. You want some eggs? I mean, you want some eggs, baby? You ain't gonna be able to stop it.
Hey man, it's crazy.
Hey! Lights out and somebody, oh, that's what I'm talking about. Hey, y'all. And you still have to sneak with that, but what they're going to do is rush this in, and it's going to get licensed to be called a human being. Y'all doing it now. Y'all just want to know, Alexa, he talking about it take 15 to get on board in Domino's. How many it take? So who's become God now? You're asking a machine for advice. You see how low we fallen? We're asking a machine to prove what exists. Look, y'all, and think about that. We're actually doing what Satan did. We're actually now, the Creator is worshiping its creation. Get up and leave this at home and see if your mind be tormented.
Oh, you turning around. You going back to pick it up.
Damn, I can't be late no more. They told me I can't get no more points. That shit, I ain't like that job, no way. But I'm going to get my phone, and when you get there, ain't nothing there.
Ain't nothing on it.
Not even a Facebook post.
You
You
don't
done
even
lost
read
your
the rest
job.
of the day.
Go ahead, man. Revelation 13. Y'all, we ain't got but a couple more, y'all. We're going to get out of here.
We talking about these robots and all that.
Y'all, and what we trying to, why we do these classes, because this stuff is hitting us right in the face. You're going to have a bunch of YouTube people out there saying they mean this, they mean that. But what they mean is what's already been prophesied. They're just trying to turn it a different way. Like Eve didn't give that credit to Adam about Cain. She said, I have gotten a man from the Lord. She didn't say from my Lord, because Satan tricked her into believing him. That's why you can be a fan of anything, you just can't be no fanatic. You can't have no pictures of male models all around and before you go to sleep. That's coming in your dreams. That person could be married or whatever else, but what happened is you have now introduced yourself to an idol for love. And you can't wait to go to sleep where nobody else can see you do that stuff, but you can't sin in your sleep. It's forbidden. Go ahead, brother. We're going to move on. Go ahead.
us now, our own people act worse than the heathen, boy.
Have it worse than them?
They act worse than
Oh, when we did, that's what got us thrown out of Jerusalem. Y'all, this why it ain't, and I'm going to say this, we're going to get to the Revelation 13. When we got through out of Jerusalem, everybody say, if you don't know the name, you can't be saved. It said we disrespected his name. We profaned his name when we was in Jerusalem. What was we calling him collectively as a group and messed up that got us thrown out? What name did we call him to call us to be in America? What name did we use? Did we use Jesus back then? I'm just speaking from those that say you have to say a name a certain way. His name is his laws, statutes, and judgment. We said we was his representative. When you see me and I'm coming in the light, I'm coming in the image of the Father who sent me through his Son. That's the name you're coming in. But when you be seen doing all of this over here, they say you coming in the name of the devil. That's your father. That's what he told the Pharisee. Your father's of the devil. If Moses was your daddy, Abraham was your daddy, like you claiming who you descended from, we wouldn't be having this discussion about commandments of men. Where you ever see a man sick and about to die, and because it's the Sabbath day, you saying if he make it through tomorrow, then we'll address it then. It says, just like meat is more than the raiment, so is life more than that day if you may die before you get to that day. If you starving and you got to eat, all throughout the scripture, it says eating is allowed under certain situations. You can't take advantage of that. Oh, I get a pass on that dog. No, you can't take advantage of liberty. That's liberty. Next week, I got to make sure I got some food in the house so I don't have to do this again. Most High ain't going to keep giving me passes like this, that I keep doing it on purpose because I have liberty. But y'all, we got to understand the power that he's making you immortal. And being immortal, you can't be immortal to back to sitting like a robot and don't do nothing on the Sabbath until you're here. Don't move. It is the Sabbath. Don't turn on that furnace. It is the Sabbath. Don't drive that car to pick up your mother who's stranded on the road. It is the Sabbath. Don't change that baby. Let that chaff pile up. Don't feed those children who haven't eaten in 3 days. You think that that's what the Sabbath has got us doing? The Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. That don't mean you can break it, but understand what it means. If you ain't around, what the Sabbath gonna do for you? Let's get it, y'all. What we at? Revelation 13? We got that. Use that.
Revelation.
Y'all, we ain't got but a couple more, y'all. We be out of here.
Revelation 13.
Revelation chapter 13, verse 13. And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on earth in the sight of men, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast.
Make a who?
Make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the beast, the image of the beast, should be killed.
So you got, break it off, Dan.
So you got an image of a beast been given how to speak these words, and as many who would not adhere to the beast should be killed. So when this thing gets set into motion, it's going to be asking all of whatever you have to do with this society is going to be of the beast. When you go try to buy, sell, or trade.
Yeah.
Who is the beast? That's your password now. Type in the beast signals. Type in the beast code. And when you don't, or you try to type in somebody else's code, just like they swoop down on you now, they will swoop down on you and they're going to put you to death. Save he that had the mark of the beast or his name. So y'all, we got to be understanding that this thing that's coming forth is to take over for mankind. It's going to solve the lust. We'll give you a woman so you can leave them children alone. We're going to put NAMBLA down. NAMBLA.
North American Man Boys Love Association.
There's a club out here that seeks out boys under 9.
NAMBLA. NAMBLA. NAMBLA.
Right, it started, like you say, it's the Roman Catholic Church is another NAMBLA. But y'all see, it's just going to get to the point that where once this image of this beast acts like God, then it has a whole, there'll be no problem with you accepting the robots as humans.
Turn it up.
Right now, they're pulling everything in there. Boys, dogs, animals, everything now. Bestiality, same sex, all of that's coming together to match up just like it was in Genesis 6. When you get into that book of Enoch that he just read, you're going to see, not only that, it was men mixing with beasts. 61 chapter of Jasher. An Edomite son, Zepho, killed a half man, half beast. Read about that. It was eating up all the cattle. Zepho, the same Zepho you read in Genesis 36, and there the sons of Esau. That one killed a half man, half beast. Because they're right now trying to get chimpanzee human rights. And in some places they already have human rights. So I can be at the altar with both.
Somewhere that Mexican will marry his alligator.
Genesis 6 chapter. And Enoch he was speaking of, also Enoch 15 chapter, that goes into those spirits, those offspring of the fallen angels and human beings. The flesh died, but the spirit is still amongst us. And they're doing the bidding now. They was waiting on the other side of the flood. We still here. And right immediately attacked Ham, who attacked his father's wife, Noah's wife, and uncovered his father's nakedness. When the law says the man that uncovered his father's nakedness have slept with his wife. Ham was the first MF off the boat. He had his way with his father's wife, which if it wasn't his biological mother, it was still considered his mother. If it was his stepmother. He uncovered his father's nakedness. That's what the law say, uncovering a father's nakedness. You are MF. A mother for unlawful carnal knowledger. And whose word is that now? That they're taking over from everybody on planet Earth. Who say MF more than anybody? Every generation. Shaft was a bad. Yeah. All throughout this new rap, mother this, mother that. That word, just like 1 Corinthians 5 say, ain't been found in the Gentiles that they talk about if a man should have his father's wife. And we talk about that. They even got jokes. All of these three people on the cliff and they got pushed off. When it got to the brother, Mofo is in there. If y'all watched last week's Lucifer, Mofo came up. He was saying it beforehand, and then his mother, who's supposed to be his mother in the episode, was lusting and came on to him. But they used that word before she committed the act. And she said, what are you doing? This is what we do. This is why your father threw me out of heaven too. I was just a piece on the side. That's all I am really am. I ain't really your mother. Come on with it. He trying to fight off. But he's using the word mofo before that scene comes up. Curse be the man. That's why it's a curse word. when you call somebody, you got to be careful that that's a curse word. Curse be the man that lieth with his father's wife. Deuteronomy 27:20. Curse be the man. So that's why it's a curse word. You black mother, you don't know what you're saying. You black, you asleep with your mama looking. That's what you're saying. That's a curse word. And when you label it on people, you actually really are truly pronouncing a curse on them. Can't stand your black mother. Putting curses on them. And if y'all watch these shows, y'all, these shows are out here and in full fledged, and every one of them put in a homosexual scene so that right now you're being programmed to start to tolerate this. Unless you're going to throw your TV out the window. Well, you throw that out, you got to throw this out too. You can't get rid of that TV and watch TV on here. Because it's going to be on here too, the same thing. You'll open it up as soon as you get to Google, it may be two men kissing. What you going to do? Get rid of this? Man, I've been trying to call you. What happened? I threw that damn phone away. As soon as I opened up Google, that was on there. Y'all, this is what they are getting us comfortable with. Of seeing decadence at its highest level. And you're in the world, but you can't be of it. Y'all think the Most High treating us unequal? No. Because when we had all of everything in our own land, guess what we did? We invited that into our land. Y'all come on in here and defile this. So just like getting kicked out of the garden, got kicked out of paradise the same way. And that's why we're here. To try to clean up our act so we can go back home. Not with that same baggage though. Here, you finished that Revelation 13?
You want to go over there?
I want you to just read some more. Yeah. Yeah, we ain't got long.
Verse 16.
Uh-huh.
And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond.
So, did he leave anybody out? Is anybody left out of here? Go ahead.
To receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name.
So one of these three you gonna have if you want to buy, sell, or trade. Already you getting it right now. Hey, excuse me, that card has the chip. Yeah, it got the chip on it. Stick it in this way. And notice how the buzzer is. The buzzer is the buzzer of decline. But it's approved now. You be looking around like, damn, line is long enough, sit up here and this card is maxed out. They like, no, it's approved. I'm like, why don't they fix that buzzer? Shit, have a bell ring like on Family Feud or something. Dun, 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 dun. Make us at least think the thing went through with that.
That
And you have to look. What it's saying?
That deal hideous.
It's hideous.
I thought I was insufficient funds.
Till you look and see approve and they pop off the receipt and hand it to you. You walking out like that. But y'all, this is going to be the thing, but it's going to be that button if you're trying to use somebody else's chip or card. And the authority's going to be right there. And if you ain't got it, who does this belong to? They're going to put you down. Y'all, this is why we got to go spiritual on this. Because if you get to the point that where we are so hungry that I'm going to break in somebody else and steal a card and think you ain't going to get caught, it's an illusion. They've already got the program mapped out. They got it laid out. They know it's foolproof. Now, we 2 checks from homeless. If you just got paid this Friday, you already done spent at least 2/3 of the 2 weeks from now. It's already accounted for. And what if they say, oh, that one, if you want that one, you have to take the mark. If you want to continue living.
Hey. Grasshopper and creek water.
Hey, read some more.
Verse 18. Here is wisdom.
Here is what?
Wisdom.
Uh-huh.
Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast.
So wisdom, do we have anybody here with understanding of number counting? He got a board over there with some number counts right there. You can see 86 plus 257 eating some, but all of those are Hebrew words up there. Y'all see that? So he has number, he has the understanding of a number. What else is it?
For it is the number of a man.
It's the number of a man. So what we know now, it's a man-made number system. Now we got man-made number systems that we deal with every day and don't even pay attention to it. Your dollar bill, whatever money you have, has the ABCs on it, A through Z. A, if you got a dollar with A on it, the number 1 is on there. Got a dollar with B on it, the number 2 is on there. You get up to H, whatever number that is on your alphabet chart, if you got a Z on there, it'll say 26 under there. It's the number system of a man. That's how they spell out who the Antichrist will be. Go ahead, read some more.
For it is the number of a man, and his number is 666.
So 600, 3 score is what? A score is 20. So 660 and what?
6.
So what's that number? 666. But it's not just 666 in nobody's head. The number of a man, just like we just explained the dollar bill, have to spell out his name. If it's going to be a Latin, whoever it is, as the Antichrist, and Roman numerals, V mean what? L mean what? 50. So whoever this is that claims to be God on earth, whatever they say his name is, those letters will spell out to be 600, 3 score, and 6. 50 if the L, 500, N is 100. But his name, Nero Caesar, spells out 600, 3 score, and 6. What's on the Pope's hat spell out 600, 3 score, and 6. Montreal, I guess, over there spell the same thing.
Ronald Reagan.
Yeah, that's what some try to say.
Ronald Wilson Reagan.
But they didn't understand it wasn't 6 letters in each one of his first, middle, and last name. Each letter had to add up, because if you add each one of his names up, it probably add up to 1,050. So that would technically take him off the list. It's the letters. Like if you got Roman numerals and you have to count that differently, that's of what? Roman Latin numerical system. So whoever get ready to introduce the Antichrist, that number system, whatever he has on his crown, because they're going to mirror Exodus when the high priest had the name of the Father in their banner, in their bonnet, or what's that head wrap they had right here with his name. And who tried to mirror that was Hulon Mitchell, the one that called himself Wrong Way Been Wrong Way.
Air Force Mitchell.
Yahweh been Yahweh, because he kind of flew over. Yeah, but so he had that same right on his headband, on his forehead. That's where they got that process from. So whoever this beast is, whoever they set up, is going to be after that number system. That's how you going to know it's him. It ain't going to be no name you can just call on. Forget all that YouTube stuff. Count the number of the beast. Whoever they say the Antichrist is, whatever his name is, count it. If you have to do every number system, put some work in and count it.
Yeah.
If you saying it's this person, man, I believe it's going to be Judas Iscariot. Count Judas Iscariot in Roman, Latin, and Hebrew. Use all of the number system and write down Judas Iscariot and see if it add up to that. If it don't, he's off the list. Ain't no need us keep trying to pick somebody. It's already been told to us how they gonna set it up. If we don't live to see that, then the next generation gonna live to see it. But at least we know the start of it is already happening. Y'all understand what we're saying? The start of this number system
already here,
and a beast system taking over, robots taking over, is already here. But when that robot come back as one of your loved ones, which you gonna think is a wonder, Big Mom! If you own this, it's face recognition. Whatever this face is, they take a picture of it at a stoplight, they go into every document out there and find it. Oh, that's Rufus' cousin. We just go get Rufus to find out where he at. See, when you're including all the pictures, you're like, man, don't put me on Facebook. You're already on that. Already in London, England, every individual is on film 625 times a day. And that's if you just go to the store and back home. Now, if you walking around town shopping at the mall, that triples. That's how many times you caught on camera. And see what they're doing to us of being caught on camera. Now we post everything as a joke. All bad behavior is put on Front Street. So we can laugh at it, we can look at it, but you still ain't seeing behind the thing that everything we doing is being watched.
Yeah.
What's crazy, Dan, like before when you sign a contract, it might not be on your phone, but inside the contract, it straight lets you know if you take pictures with your camera, they have the authority to go snatch them off your phone. And how many bros and sisters is doing selfies, face recognition? You know what I'm saying? Like I straight took a picture with my phone the other day, and the bros I took a picture of, their names popped up on my phone.
Yeah. Yeah.
Me up. I'm like, how do they know bruh name?
Yeah, well, you can Google your number, and it tell you all the places you've been since last year. You can Google your number, type your phone number in on Google, and see what your location GPS on or not. It's gonna pop up unless you are operating off some type of app. If you operating off your regular number, your regular smartphone number, every place you've been the past year gonna pop up. Every single stop, every single place. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy, man.
Now how you talking about you off the grid and you still got this?
Nah.
You ain't off the grid.
This is the grid.
This the grid. This is what's connected. Y'all seen how many, is it payphones around still?
I ain't reviewed no payphones.
It's one off of Parker Road in Elko.
Oh, is it?
Parker Road at 367.
Right. That deal be obsolete shortly.
So y'all
use payphones. We don't even have house phones no more for the most part.
Yeah.
Everybody operate off their cell phones.
So y'all see where they're luring us into a position, and it's the right hand or the forehead. Like bruh saying, if your thumb was missing, texting gonna be a problem.
Ooh.
Unless you can text with the other hand that has a thumb. So this is how important the body is when just coming back around to that. But y'all, this is attached to everybody, the extension of their hand. And the hard drive or the thoughts that come. So your forehead and the right hand in your hand, because what you think you type.
That's right.
And it knows you because it's tracking your history. That's when they go get these hard drives and they say, did you try to kill your wife? Okay, let's get his hard drive. How to kill my wife and get away with it. That's 10,000 hits you didn't put on there. Then how to dispose of the body. And you talking about it ain't what it look like. It ain't what it look like. That's like you laying up under the covers in the bed of another man's house naked, and when he come in there, you tell him it ain't what it look like.
Yeah, all right.
No, partner, it ain't what it look like. We're taking an acting class together. Okay. Well, we gonna act out this scene right here.
The way that Revelation 14 is to show the judgment on that who are taken in that system when it's finally set up and mandated for what it is. Revelation 14, I believe, is 8 through 12, right?
Revelation 14, y'all. Is it Revelation 14?
Yeah, it's over from 13. Bro.
So anybody, y'all, is any of this going over? Y'all understanding where we come? Y'all, like we saying, look up the robots. Look up the number system of men. Y'all have to look up these things so they go together so nobody don't dictate who it's going to be. You can't be fooled to start chasing something. Do your homework because they're going to separate us. Yeah. Swoop him up this week. Swoop him up Thursday. Man, y'all seen him? Man, I ain't seen him, man. Anybody got him? Man, his wife ain't seen him either. He didn't come home. It's going to continue like that to where you're going to have to depend on your own because they snatching them off. You're going to be snatched one, just like they're going to mirror, just like the Most High going to come and take two of a family. He's doing the same thing. He's going to be snatching you off of what he think is the link to helping brothers out. But the 144,000, y'all, the Most High already got something in place for us. Who going to be here to help us get through this, y'all. So guardian angels going to be here, y'all. We just can't trust in the angel that's masquerade as an angel of light. And the best way to do that is be prepared for all his schemes that we just read in here, who to look and how to identify the Antichrist. Now, if you see something else on YouTube versus what you just read here, what should that be to you? A lie, or what we call a red flag to trick me into believing it's somewhere else. Do the homework, y'all. Do the count. Count it up. And then you may have a list of 30 candidates who it could be. But whoever it gonna be, gonna do this. I am God, I am back. You ain't got to guess at that point. And when he called for the leaders to kiss his ring like the Pope do, when you see Donald Trump do that and he move his hair to the side, you don't know. And then the next king, mirroring Zechariah 14, for all of them got to come up to Jerusalem when they all coming up doing this, for iniquity already doth work. The program is already in motion.
That's right. Been dead.
Go ahead, bro. You know what it's saying? They are mirror image, y'all. We got to quit looking like it's a boogeyman coming this way. It's going to look just like what's written. The only difference is it's got to have a different outcome. You're going to be taught to say what it ain't. It's like a lie. A lie ain't going to never be the truth. A lie you have to rehearse. Anybody ask you, man, I was at that 7-Eleven on Kings Highway in Natural Breed.
You ain't on camera.
There ain't no 7-Eleven on Kings Highway.
Well, you gotta lie, I'm lying.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I need you to help me out here. Yeah, so you know, this is where it goes, and you gotta rehearse. And as soon as you get that call, well, yeah, I hear you was at Sunfish Texas 7-Eleven. Damn, he done told the wrong thing. Man, I told you, but truth is an absolute. Just tell them where I was. That's all you have to do. Truth is an absolute. It don't need no support. I was in Bible study at 426. I was in Bible study. Man, I'm telling you, man, they said they saw you at the steakhouse, man, and you was ordering more than them. Yeah, you was ordering. Okay. I was at class at 426. I don't know who that was, y'all saw.
Wouldn't be.
Wasn't me.
Got about 100 witnesses. Hey, the camera.
Hey, we got 100 witnesses in there and the camera. They'd be like, damn, I guess that wasn't you. So y'all, with this, we ain't never got to lie for this. We ain't never got to help it out. Truth is absolute. It don't need no help. Truth is absolute. Where we at? Revelation 14. Go ahead.
Yeah,
who's that on saying?
Revelation chapter 14, verse 8.
What it say?
And there followed another angel saying, Babylon is fallen, is fallen, the great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. This is the practice of the saints. I'm sorry, this is the patience of the saints.
Here is the patience.
Here is the patience of the saints. Some of my glasses.
Yeah.
Here is the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of Yahweh and the faith of Yahweh Shah.
Mark that, y'all.
So you see her, there's a judgment. There's a time coming we're going to take a stand against everything that seems convenient. It seems like, okay, you know, the better it gets. But actually, we're heading toward the mark of the beast, the worship of the beast, and his image. That's what we're heading toward. You understand? So it's going to be a time when the sons and daughters of the Most High are going to have to take a stand against that. That verse 12 say the patience of the saints those that fear the Most High, keep His commandments, and have the faith of the Messiah. You understand? That's what's going to get us through these perilous times. While the world's saying it'll be convenient, the iPhone 1000 may be out by then. I don't know how much better it can get.
iPhone 1000.
Yeah, I don't know how much more better it can get, but just ask yourself that. How much better can these video games get? Call of Duty. How much better can the cell phone technology get? Where does it stop at? Is there a ceiling that's going to hit?
Right.
Or is it going to keep getting more and more better until you in sync with AI, artificial intelligence?
What's on the back of this iPhone? And what's going out of it?
Bite.
So is it the tree of good and evil again? We right back here, y'all. A bite out of the apple. They bit the apple. This knows all what's righteous because you can pull up every law and every chapter and verse in the Bible on here. You also can turn the lights out and have a date night with yourself and pull up camera and Google big black. Good and evil. Let them come for you Googling good. How do I identify the mark of the beast? Give me the number systems of the people. At least when they come, that's one of them saints. We're going to have to test them and then put them to death. No, that's common. But at least let them know what your phone is about. And you ain't shamed when they get this.
This artificial intelligence is way bigger than what we've been making it, though. Like, it's all coming to the front. Everything is coming to this new era of technology. Everybody talking about quantum physics. Everybody trying to merge science with spirituality now. Like this artificial intelligence is hand in hand with this anti-Messiah stuff.
And y'all, this is what we have to understand, y'all. See, they got us thinking that we're going to a Garden of Eden that looks like Grant's Farm. You have to understand this technology can't compare to what Adam then was dealing with in the garden. In paradise. This technology right here can't even compare.
That's right.
This is baby talk that the technology that Adam had.
And where they getting this technology from anyway? From fallen angels and demons. Why y'all think they coming up with all this stuff anyway?
It's behind. They're getting it in pieces to deliver it to mankind. Just like they're mirroring the same thing, just like Daniel was told in the 12th chapter, close up the book. Yeah. This all you get. John the Revelator gonna pick up the rest of this. Rest for a little season. You done did well. Go to sleep, Daniel. The book of Revelations will pick up where you left off. Same way with this, y'all. They get the iPhone 10. 2 years later, this is done. Now you up to where you say, where the ceiling at? The ceiling gonna be the phone in your hand.
Yep. Yeah, you gonna be on your wrist. You gonna be Android. They showed you that in Terminator growing up. Terminator 2, Terminator Judgment Day. Last Terminator came out was called Genesis.
Right.
They was like multi-dimensional in there, more like multi-dimensional beings or whatever. Feel me? The whole aim is for mankind, the image of the Most High, to be in sync with the beast. That's what's coming. That's what's coming. That chip that go up in you ain't gonna do nothing but morph your DNA. It ain't like it's just, you know what I'm saying, child's play. You dig, at that point, you're not even operating and regulating like the son of the Most High. Yeah, you in full lock and step mode dealing with Satan. You a son of the devil at that point. But those that had a faith of Messiah and keep the commandments, that's our power to get through it. You feel me? So while the rest of the world be smiling and looking at things as if it's like convenient for you, you dig, the saints will be like, oh no, I can't even deal with that.
Right.
I can't deal with that. He gonna hit that Revelation 20.
Yeah.
And then iRobot, the phone was in her hand, actually in her hand.
Yeah. Right.
Talk like that.
Right. And then when it go away, you be just having it in your hand because that's where they gonna put all the technology. What up, dog? Yeah, man, down here, boy. You got the mark. I see you got the mark of the beast too, dog. Yeah, man. Yeah, there's a few of them Hebrews up there. Them niggas starving, but where you at? Come on down here to Parker Roast. I'll buy something to be on me. Yeah, I got a partner coming down here named Little Earl. Go ahead, yeah, take it out of there. Take it out of there for me. Yeah, I'm back, dog. No, you said just meet me on down here.
Phone in your hand. They showed on that movie. And then they got them, y'all seen them wristband, them iPhone wristwatches?
Yeah.
Where you put on a wristband and it shows on your arm. You can straight type on your arm.
Yeah.
Type on your arm, man.
That's crazy, man.
Y'all, so they already warning us. So y'all, it ain't like it's without excuse. You ain't gonna have no excuse because you practicing what they're doing every day. We just have to practice the righteousness with it. He put us here knowing that Satan has to offer the right side for him to accuse you. He has to have an accusation that righteousness was there. I didn't move that out of the way from him. I didn't deceive him. I showed them your righteousness, and then I showed them my righteousness. Yeah. They like my righteousness. I don't know why you mad, Lord, because they like my righteousness. That's your creation. That's yours. They lust after me, though. Yeah, just like them third of the angels lusted after me. That's your creation, Lord. Yeah. If y'all watch a Lucifer show, he's that arrogant the same way. Yeah, surely my father, so my father says it.
We start watching that, man.
Yeah, I don't watch that.
That's crazy, bro. That's crazy.
See, you have to see what went down in Sodom and Gomorrah. Until you read the 18th and 19th chapter of this book of Jasher, like we read Genesis 6, or we read about Genesis, what was it, 18, where Sodom and Gomorrah was destroyed?
Yeah, 18 and 19.
Let's go into day-to-day detail. Do you know what Lot was saying? They had streets on the bed corner. They had freak meat every other month. They say a man would show up with his wife and his daughter, and they would separate and wouldn't see each other again for 2 weeks.
They'd be swapping wives.
And it says she had her way with whatever she wanted. He had his way with whatever he wanted. After the 2 weeks over, they get back in the car and leave. There was beds on the street corner. When you came in, the hospitality was, if you a man, you have to accept being raped.
No, it's not going down.
No, already count me out.
That's why when the angels came to Lot's house, they were beating on that door. Open that damn door! Open that door!
Yep.
Lot say, I got 2 virgins in here that ain't never been with a man ever before. We don't want them skanks. Where the men folks is at?
Hey.
We're gonna split asunder them men. Now send them out here that we may know them. Y'all think that meant, hey, so who are you? Or you gay girl? You think it was that kind of no, or what no do you think they wanted to do?
Wickedness.
That's what they wanted to do.
Hey, and Sodom and Gomorrah was so evil, a man will bust your head with a boulder and
yeah.
He'll bust your head, you be bleeding.
Bust your head, take your money.
Take you to court and sue you for bleeding.
Can y'all imagine that?
Yeah, the police doing that.
The police doing us like that right now.
Yeah. What Darren Wilson do?
Yep, shot him and then sued the county.
No, what I'm saying is the one brother he beat up and they kept locked up, they charged him with bleeding on his uniform. And they put Mr. Bill E. Club on his head. The brother Davis. Google that, y'all. Ferguson man locked up and charged for bleeding on officer's uniform.
He the one busted his head.
This nigga done bled on my uniform.
Assault.
You better not bleed on it no more.
Sodom and Gomorrah.
He pulled off his shirt and it's filed as bleeding on the officer's uniform. Y'all, we line Google it right now. Y'all, so what we saying ain't, it's already in work where we get into a lawless system so bad. I want y'all to think about this. You just standing right here discussing something and somebody hurl a brick and hit you in the head and they start bleeding, they got you in court. Did you get hit upside the head with a rock and start bleeding? Yeah, I was bleeding. Who threw that rock? Him over there. Where our laws state that he's in ordinance with such and such, you owe him $1,000 for shedding your blood. Did it to Eleazar. Was it Eleazar that went down there? He went down there to see about Lot. He hit the man threw a brick. Guess what Eleazar did? Picked up a brick and hit the judge in the head. Judge was like, he said, now you pay him. See, but it's called being wise as a serpent. He knew the law. He was a Johnny Cochran back then. Chapter 18. Chapter 19 of the book of Jasher. If you want to see what really happened in Sodom and Gomorrah, this gives day-to-day blow accounts of what went down in Sodom and Gomorrah. Also the wisdom of Solomon, chapter 19. Yeah, it was hospitality. That was part of it, but hospitality is a great commandment that we're supposed to have. To love your brother. Somebody come, show hospitality to him. somebody come down here, we got to make sure the house is in order to show them hospitality. We can't let nobody, a visitor, come back and say our house was dirty. So y'all, we have to maintain and make sure they see a tight body, so when they go back, that's a nice family, I'll go back and visit them again. Hospitality is in every state. When you get to a new state, what does it say? Welcome to what? And when you pull over to the first rest stop, that's called a welcome center. Well, in Sodom and Gomorrah, the welcome upside the head and turn you around and snatch your trousers down and tie you to a bed like this. Now you can visit the city, you one of us.
That's great.
That hospitality, where excess now interests us. Where we at?
We got two more scriptures. We got Revelation 20:4-6 and 1 Peter 2:9-11.
Yeah.
Which tells us to abstain from fleshly lusts that war against the soul.
Y'all, we out of here. Anybody got any questions so far before we move on just the understanding, y'all? Numerology, the count of numbers. That's why we're saying there's a difference in numerology and the count the number of a man. Numerology is, okay, today is 36. Today is your lucky day. See, so now you look for a number to guide your soul instead of the Most High. Well, that's what a lot of people say, but we be looking for chapter and verse. See, if you don't present that, then that's just what you heard or what may be on a piece of paper. We need to see that these mean completion, because a week was 7 days. I mean, that's considered a complete week, but where in sevens does it say, because this is the law of completion of 7? Those are the things we need so we don't get tangled up.
666.
Yeah.
When I look into that, 6 represents the fallen man.
Well, that's what that says. But see, that's not a script that 6 is the fall of man. 6 is the end number of the 603 score, and then there's 6. Now 6 for us is A, B, C, D, E, F, G. It's G. No, that's 7. I was just seeing was y'all paying attention. But it's what? F. So 6 is F. That's all I'm saying, brother. 6 is F. So once you understand a number system of this man, when they holler 6, it's the 7. What we need to find in the scripture is 6 are tied to Lucifer any kind of way, or any kind of what you just said in any of the creation. Because if that's the case, then that's going to fall on man versus Lucifer. That's going to fall on Adam, because he was created on the 6th day. So we don't want to shift that, because we're going to have to ask, we have to answer those questions, like the name of the class is. Study the answer, instant in season, out of season. So that's 2:10:4. We got to study, be ready to give an answer always. So that answer to that is, the first thing I'm going to ask, where you see that? 2 witnesses that's the number of Satan and the fall of man. We need to see that, because we got a different understanding on 6 on the great day. This was a king. This was a high priest. He was given charge of the world. Now, did that man fall? Yeah, but it wasn't about him being born on the 6th day. It was about somebody else created on another day. So whatever day Satan was created on. But we have to be careful of that, or we give days to the devil. Halloween, October 31st ain't the day of the devil. The devil is borrowing the Lord's day to cause you to do wickedness on his day that he created. He just chose the 31st. Do y'all know that Friday the 13th came from the book of Esther? In the 13th day of the month, all the letters went out, all Israel died. It hit every post office on the 13th. They just say that was a Friday as we know it. So today, what we do when we see Friday the 13th? Scared to death of that day.
It's superstitious.
Superstitious. You believe in things you don't understand, and then you what? Stevie Wonder was singing it a long time ago. You suffer when you believe in things you don't understand. That's why we got to make sure you understand down here, so you don't suffer. You don't suffer the wrath of naysayers. And this seems like a burden, so you suffer. Damn, that is twisted up. That don't make no sense. Damn, mysteries and we ain't supposed to know. Damn. But ain't none of that in here. You were just told that. This says the opposite. Every mystery in here gonna be revealed. And the one from the beginning that was told to Adam that he couldn't just walk up on the Father. He spoke to the Father because there was no brass over there. How you doing, Father? Doing great. How you doing, creation of the Father and the Son? I'm doing great. Until what happened? And then brass came over the top of that the same way it did Saul. And he said the same thing. The Lord won't answer me by Urim or Thummim. He won't answer me by priest. He won't answer me by dream. He has cut me off. Saul was cut off the same way. Y'all, when the Most High put a brass over here, you will know it because it'll continually be going downhill. He won't answer every prayer. No results. More drama. So y'all, we got to be extra careful in this walk, y'all, that we keep our mind focused. And when we put this up and you type something out, yeah, I'm going to let them know how I feel right now. Erase. Because once this go, it's gone. You can't unring the bell. You can't go back and get that text and be explaining that text. Well, bro, look, man, just to heat them on, man, you know I would have never called you that, man. I was just trying to get everybody else to laugh. But, man, my mother is a whore, and I was born by the guy at the tire shop. You just trying to make people laugh. Come on, bro, you know how we joke around. We don't joke like that. Y'all, so you got to be careful. Every time you think about something could come back on you, erase it and think about it. Or put this in there. I love you. Just like the script say I'm supposed to do. Enter and watch what come back in. But what they gonna find on that? Damn, he's a loving kind of individual, isn't he?
Right. Right. Whole script.
But you typing out, I can't stand you, I wish you died, and all your children. That's gonna be a problem. You trying to explain like everybody else is saying, like the woman that ran that sister toothbrush up her rear end, poured rotten clam juice in her lotion and did all that to drive her out there and say, I really didn't mean any harm. She got a throat infection and all of this, you didn't mean no harm. What you didn't mean that I didn't do anything that I thought would kill her. Yeah. She called the Jamaican Barbie. She was so jealous because of the girl's beauty, she just started doing stuff to her. Can you imagine? She stuck that woman's toothbrush up her rear end and put it back in her rack.
She spit in her coconut.
She spit in her coconut oil that she rubs over her skin. And guess where they caught her at?
Where is this at?
She put it on Facebook.
Just Google Jamaican Barbie. Just Google it at the college. This 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. I ain't heard about that.
But this how they called her.
I ain't been on Facebook.
The devil told her, now brag about that. Ain't nobody gonna believe you did nothing like that. You run a toothbrush up your rear end and put it back. Who gonna believe that? You better put that out there now so they can believe it.
And they say the girl was carrying boxes while she was moving and people stopped her in the hall. Did you see what she just put on there about you?
That's how it got caught. But she had went to the university and told them, something is wrong with me. Something is happening. They're like, we don't play that around here, next case. But now they scared of a lawsuit. They suspended the woman and she's going to jail but can only face 6 months for the charge. Oh, rape, hate crime now. So it can go up now because she used the word, I'm getting rid of the Jamaican Barbie.
So hold on, so she put the girl's toothbrush up her butt.
Yeah.
Spit in her coconut oil.
Spit in her coconut oil, put spoiled clam juice in her lotion and stuff.
And now she got
And this the worst part of it. Took her personal woman's items and rubbed it all over her book bag.
After while she was doing that time for the month.
But this was called her, y'all. Facebook called her. Because she couldn't tell it she had to tell it.
So the girl got like infection and stuff?
Yes.
She was having sore throats and she didn't know why.
Bad bacteria.
But she knew about the rear end. Plumber didn't know this.
She was getting sick and
That's when she moved.
Wow.
How she don't know that went up her rear end? Oh, she put up her rear end.
Yeah, not a virgin, not of the Jamaican Barbie. No, boy, what you saying? She just still laying there. She's like, oh, I feel a brushing feeling. No, she wasn't like
So
that.
old girl was leaving, and that's when she posted because she thought she was gone or something?
Yeah, she was moving out.
Yeah, moving out.
Posted the stuff on
Finally run Jamaican Barbie out.
So while she in the hallway, they like, look at this.
Yeah.
Wow.
And what did you say Friday the 13th was?
Well, when you get into the book of Esther, I believe it's the 4th chapter, on the 13th day, it was a hit. Jacob actually did a really good lesson on the assassination of Israel and nations that come against us. And in there, wicked Haman had convinced the king that Israel is the problem. We need to get rid of all of them. But the same thing happened in Egypt with us. So they had sent a letter to everybody, and they said on the 13th of this month, we killing them, we're going to wipe them off planet Earth. All of the people say that happened to be on a Friday if you look and calculates the time back when the 13th happened on that day. So now when we hear the 13th, all of us in here have a different explanation for Friday the 13th. What we say, something's supposed to happen bad on Friday the 13th or on the 13th. So instead of understanding it's just the 13th and the 14th coming and it's the day after the 12th, we start fearing a day of the Lord and turn it over to Satan through superstition. So caught up in superstition that your friend will let you walk 10 miles, cross what they say a crack or a pole, and then tell you, I didn't tell you, you crossed that pole back there at the store. Yes, you did, remember, because you went on the right side because I was standing there. And this person walks all the way back and walk around that and comes back. For what? Who broke a mirror in here? You got 7 years of bad luck? Huh? Who? What you got, bro?
No, I was on the 13th. I always looked at Yeshua and the 12 disciples. So I compared that to the 13th. So I never looked at it being bad.
The 13 disciples?
The 12.
12 disciples.
Big equals 13.
Absolutely, but a witch's coven is 13 too. A witch's coven is 13 too.
Yeah.
So all witches' covens is 13, but they are copied. But the Messiah don't use the word 13. He used the word 12. Satan used 13. The Arthur Koestler, the impostor that said there's an impostor Jew, he called them the 13th tribe, not the 12. Because when you get into Genesis 36, it's 13 tribes of the dukes and teens, and Duke Earl, and Duke this, and Duke this. When you seen trading places, those were the dukes. Didn't they tell you right in your face? Yeah. We're the dukes. The dukes know something. The dukes know something. When you look up Duke, it'll tell you of British European royalty. He's a duke. That's the term of king and priest for the Edomites. Duke and Timon. They are the hierarchy. Donald Trump is a duke. And Timon. The rich of parts of Esau, these are the heads of them. And he meeting with his other Duke and Timon partner, the Russian boy. Vladimir. That's loaded with money. They say he worth $240 billion.
Oh, Vladimir Pope?
That's what they say. Whoa. The richest man, that's the richest man in the world.
Well, you know, outside the Rothschild.
Yeah, because see, they still count money. They're talking about the richest man that can count money. Rothschild and Rockefeller is not about money.
No, they don't count.
They produce the money. They make the money. You won't see them in a discussion about money.
They set the standard for gold every morning.
For gold. Yeah. The earth's money. When all this paper go away, guess what stays? Gold. But what they doing in the ghetto? Cash for what? Gold. You give me $5 worth of that gold, I'm going to give you $10 of this worthless money. That's a good deal. That's a good deal. No, it ain't. I don't care what you got. You got a gold nugget, the first thing somebody going to do is this. You can get a loaf of bread, a half a gallon of milk, and a pack of bologna.
Oh, man.
But you ain't gonna give him none of this. Where we at, man?
Revelation 24 through 6. Ended with 1 Peter 2.
Yeah.
About abstaining from lust, and that'll kill that whole sex box epidemic.
Yes.
No, Revelation 20, verse 4 through 6. Yes, sir.
White woman arrested for torturing black student she called Jamaican Barbie. Police have arrested a white University of Harvard student after she boasted online about harassing her roommate she called Jamaican Barbie by putting her toothbrush in places the sun doesn't shine. Brianna Ray Broku, 18, was arrested and charged with third-degree criminal mischief and second-degree breach of peace on Saturday for bullying her university roommate Chanel Jazzy Rowe. Rowe was not aware of the harassment until she discovered posts by Brochu on Instagram where her roommate bragged about spitting in her coconut oil, putting moldy clam dip in her lotions, and rubbing used tampons on her backpack for more than a month. Finally did it, yo girl got rid, this is what she wrote, finally did it, yo girl got rid of her roommate. The post read, I can finally say goodbye to Jamaican Barbie. And she up in the hospital trying to figure out what's wrong and what a sickness in her throat is coming from, and it's dried up feces.
Bacterial infection.
Bacterial infection. And not on that, moldy clam sauce. So when you rub lotion on, don't y'all know that go in your skin?
Go straight to your blood. Go straight to your bloodstream.
And clam dip. Think about that. The unclean. Clam dip. And spit in her coconut oil.
She's doing a ritual.
And you know she wasn't doing the regular spit, she doing the hawk.
It's like a ritual, man. They're using her blood to rub.
And then her menstrual blood, rub it all over her book bag and let her go out. And somebody,
that do
somebody.
That's like some
like some straight
witchcraft.
witchcraft.
She's pretty, but she smell like Big Cat Country. Y'all been out to Forest Park?
Yeah, we've been to Forest Park.
Y'all been in Big Cat
We know
Country?
about Big Cat Country.
She pretty, but dang.
Big Cat Country.
Go ahead, boy, y'all. We got to get on out of this 5 o'clock, y'all.
Revelation chapter 20, verse 1.
4
4, you said 4?
4 through 6, bro. Revelation 24 through 6.
4 through 6.
Right to the point.
Revelation chapter 20, verse 4. And I saw thrones, and they sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahweh and for the word of Yahweh, and which had not worshipped the beast, neither his image, neither had received his mark upon their forehead or in their hands. And they lived and reigned with Christ 1,000 years.
How long?
1,000 years. But the rest of the dead lived not again until the 1,000 years were finished. This is the first resurrection.
But you got a persecution of the faithful of God. Even though we got to take a stand, some brothers are going to be tortured or beheaded. Sisters too, for refusing to be in sync with the beast. You understand? So when you're looking at all these robots and you look at it like it's just cute, she has citizenship, all lives matter, you feel me? You're connected to your phone, you can't go nowhere without it. We promote the beast system right now. So you need to use it to work righteousness. Post scriptures when you be on Facebook. Post news articles about what's coming.
That's right.
You understand? But we can't in no way, shape, form, or fashion, once this thing is mandated, we can't, we got to be totally about it there. We can't have no parts of it. You understand? Because that's where it's going.
That's right.
You see, they're going to be so angry at first. The first to say it's a cause they're going to make those that get down. Then those that stand up, eventually they're going to be martyred or beheaded for refusing to be in sync with the rest of the world. You see that? but they gonna live with Christ 1,000 years.
That's
beautiful.
right.
One day with the Lord, 1,000 years. They priests, they kings, they all that.
That's right.
You understand? So it's a great reward. It's nothing to fear, but the time is coming where your very faith and belief will be tried and tested. Right? And it shouldn't be a surprise. Look at everybody that came before you. John the Baptist was beheaded.
That's right.
Wore camel jockstrap. Drank honey and ate grasshoppers. But his whole mission was to prepare the way for the Messiah, and in the end his head was cut off. You look at it like it's sad. According to that, he received glory. You see what I'm saying? So everybody wants to take a stand eventually, because the whole beast system is aiming for the image of God to be in sync with the image of the devil.
Y'all hear that?
You can't have none of that.
Say that again.
The whole beast system is to have the image of God in sync with the image of the devil. This beast that don't got no soul. Right?
Y'all
So
understand what it's saying?
Your phone ain't just gonna be the Android. In other words, you gonna be the Android.
You gonna be there.
You feel me? There's a time coming when we gonna have to bail out and jump ship and say, nah, I don't want no more parts of it. That's what's coming, right? They gonna start with taking all the cash out of society. You gonna know what it is,
right?
You know what I'm saying? You won't be able to get paid unless you receive some type of RFID or some type of implant for you to continue in what we got going on. You see things that don't even have life. Your computers are talking to you. On the HP laptop I got, they call it Cortana.
Oh.
I was hit the link and she get to talking to you. Like, what is it you like? What is it you want to do? What do you want me to look up?
We got Siri.
Yes.
Your GPS talk to you. Turn left right here.
Right.
Turn right. You looking at all this as convenience, but the whole thing is aimed at to get you to be in sync with that.
And to spiritually dumb you down, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, so that's where we at with it. But you see those that stand up get a reward to reign with the Messiah 1,000 years. That's beautiful.
Yes, it is. And like you're saying, bro, on the GPS, y'all, it's good to use GPS, but it's also good to train your mind to look for landmarks.
Yeah.
No, when we came back here, it was a Big Bowen's wood shop over there. No, man, the Big Bob wood shop over there, man. Remember when we got on the highway right there? If you don't see that, you know you're on the wrong. But if you keep counting on GPS, when you get to certain places, what they say, man, it led me over here 3 or 4 times. I finally got back over here. How about GPS? You trying to escape and it leads you right to Klan territory. You have reached your destination.
Yeah. GPS
and then they snatch the door open. Yeah, you have. Get the rope.
GPS has been wrong before, huh?
Yeah.
Plenty of times. You done with that out?
Yeah.
You said verse 6, right?
Yeah.
Verse 6. Blessed and holy is he that has part in the first resurrection. On such the second death has no power. But they shall be priests of Yahweh and of Yahushua, and shall reign with him 1,000 years.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's what's coming. Rulership, reigning. You understand? Co-heirs with Messiah. Last script is 1 Peter 2, 9 through 11. Last script. Then we be talking about these sex bots and these robots. And, you understand? And it has nothing to do with reframing or transforming your mind to be a new creature. If your mind is not transformed, you're going to be collateral damage. The whole thing is for you to keep up your wickedness and not have to have no type of accountability for it. That's what the whole thing. You can model it. You can model this bot to look like the woman of your dreams. You understand? Or sister's the man of your dreams. You see that? You look at that as convenience. You feel me? You find your soulmate. Your soulmate is a robot. Huh?
It has no soul.
Talking about the stars that align for you. Okay. Let's see what it is. In the end, you become in one flesh with something that ain't in the image of the Most High. That's fornication. You understand? Like if laying with an animal is fornication, what you think laying with a robot is? That's not your kind. You understand? So some people try to play that with technically, like watch that spirit, the loophole spirit. Technically, nah, don't even let nobody play you like that. You feel me? And the end game of it has nothing to do with righteousness. Alright? 1 Peter 2, 9 through 11. But ye are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, an holy nation, a peculiar people, that ye should show forth the praises of him who have called you out of darkness into his marvelous light, which in time past were not a people, but are now the people of Yah, which had not obtained mercy, but now have obtained mercy. Dearly beloved, I beseech you as strangers and pilgrims, abstain from fleshly lusts, which war against the soul. If we do that, the whole image of the beast will have no power over us.
Let me just read this last one, man. Y'all, we're going to close out. 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 9. Last one, y'all, and this is just to wrap up what eye has not seen.
That's right,
Y'all, we have to hope, y'all, we done seen everything out here. What can you compare to what it talks about the kingdom of heaven? The Taj Mahal? What you gonna say, the Grand Canyon?
Right, over in Dubai somewhere.
Grant's Farm, what do you think could compare to what's written that we will inherit? What in that about that? And they have plumbing issues in the Taj Mahal.
What did you say, what? What, feces backed up?
Because the toilet gold and it's backed up. 1 Corinthians 2 and 9. But as it is written, eye hath not seen, nor ear heard, neither have entered into the heart of man the things which Yah hath prepared for them that love him.
Yeah.
But Yah hath revealed them unto us by his Spirit. For the Spirit searcheth all things, yea, the deep things of Yah. That's right. For what man knoweth the things of a man, save the spirit of man which is in him? Even so, the things of Yah knoweth no man, but the Spirit of Yah. Now we have received not the spirit of the world, but the Spirit which is of Yah, that we might know the things that are freely given to us of God. That's all I want to do, brother.
Real talk, brother. All right, we're about to close out with a closing psalm. Any questions, any announcements before we go ahead, sister?
Yes, Sister Courtney.